Alright. James will be down here soon. He's just dealing with a cockroach. Hi. Welcome to the Sky Bear Games Twitch channel. We're playing Apprentices of Tirenia today, and yeah. Oh, here he comes. Let him get set up after dealing with the cockroach. Oh, and bring in an ice pack for my knee. Thank you.
Here you go.
Most kind.
I...
Alright. So...
Oh, the horrific lesson has begun, everyone.
Do you want to do some plugs while I set up the one encounter, which I forgot to do earlier today, in between doing chores and looking after baby and working.
Kia ora, Internet. Now I'm going to remember what the plugs are. The main one is that we have our charity stream, and that is this time next week.
Well, actually, earlier.
Yeah, so we'll be starting at, is it 4:30?
I think it's going to be 4:30.
It'll be about 4:30. There may be a certain amount of, we'll see where we are on the day. But yes, we'll be doing our 24-hour gaming stream. We have worked out our schedule for what we are planning to do, tentative schedule. But we are still keen for you to suggest more games to us. They have to be child-friendly because this is for kids. The charity is Heart Kids, which is to help children and their families with heart conditions. That's the children who have the heart conditions, not the families.
Yeah, yeah.
You can tell that I, too, have been working all day.
Yeah.
And I'm a little tired now. Though our trashy takeaway dinner really, really helped. So that's a plug for trashy takeaway dinners.
Yeah.
But also, in addition, if you missed Armageddon, then we have got more copies of our Dragons of Tirenia introductory guide, which are for sale, and you can find that on our website,
which is
skybeargames.com.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen the previous episodes of this, please check them out, as well as our podcast. We recently put up our behind-the-scenes talk of Armageddon and the Siege of Medellano campaign, where we discussed what went into designing it and what the decisions were that the players made. And we have other ones as well, where we go from our favourite games that we like, our recommendations, to talking about different issues, to getting into politics and gaming. So yeah, well worth a listen. And apart from that, are we talking about our board games day yet, or is that still
not yet?
Not yet.
100%.
Not yet. Oh, spoilers. Oh, watch this space if you like board games and you live locally. Watch this space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna do a fun thing.
Yeah.
Gonna do a fun thing.
We do many fun things.
What else has been happening? I have been adding stuff to the website.
Yeah.
Right, I just need to get the Twitch stream on here.
Apart from that, so this was advertised as the final session of... No, you said it was going to be the season finale.
Did I?
You did. But it will not be the season finale. Way! We've decided we're going to keep going and actually get to the natural conclusion of the game, because we're having too much fun.
Well, there's probably 3 sessions left.
We'll see.
Unless anything gets stretched out.
Yeah, 3 sessions unless they're out. Yeah. See how that goes. Yeah. I should find my dice. Meanwhile,
yes,
I've been too busy admiring this beautiful D100. Ooh, it's so big and round and golf ball like, and I bet my cat would love to knock that off the table.
Yeah. Where did I start with the last? I don't remember where it said it was the last.
In your Stadia Games weekly update, you said it was going to be
on the blog, right?
Yeah,
God,
in
I've
your
done
blog.
so many things today, I can't remember.
That's fair enough. That is absolutely fair. Now I've got to remember which dice I use, which you'd think would be easier for me, but it's not. I think by now I would have this down. It's that one, that one, that one, and those ones. And the rest I will just push up here so that they are accessible.
Right. Just give me a few more moments.
Sure. So I guess in the meantime, I will just talk about random things that might be of interest to people. Random things.
What have you been finding with your pauper stuff, James?
Yeah. So, ever since I was a little James back in 1994, I have been really interested in Magic the Gathering. And so, if you don't know Magic, it's the original collectible card game where you are a mighty wizard and your opponent is a mighty wizard, and you battle for using cards that represent the different spells and the creatures that you can summon. And one of the problems with Magic is that it is horrifically, prohibitively expensive. Given that there's a game involving little pieces of cardboard with pretty pictures on them, it is obscene that some cards can cost $100 or more. In some cases, much, much more. It's just horrific. So Pauper is a format where anything that has ever been printed as a common card is legal, and nothing else, and that's it. And so as a result, that means that you actually have thousands and thousands of cards over Magic's, what are we up to now, 27-year history? Yeah, over 27 years. That's a huge amount of things that have been printed, but it's much, much more affordable, and it's using all the sort of cards that you traditionally don't really look at. And while you might think that if you know Magic, you might think, oh, the common cards are normally the simple ones, they're the weaker ones. Well, that's not entirely true. Some of these decks that we've been looking at can win the game with infinite combos on the third turn, which is really cool. But also because they're all commons, they're at a much more there's much more of a parity of power level. So you can do a huge range of things. And every time we've gone, oh, but you surely couldn't do this with a all common deck. And it turns out the answer is, yep, you totally can. There's a huge scope for imagination, for just using silly jank cards, using the stuff just because it's fun. We have not actually gotten any games in yet because there's some important single cards that we haven't gotten around to buying yet. And I'll need to get some more card sleeves and stuff. But so far, I've just been going through all my Magic collections and pulling out stuff. And it's really cool to go, oh, here's this card from 20 years ago. I remember that card fondly, and now I can play with it again.
Nice.
And also one of the great joys of Pauper is that it is an eternal format. So what that means is, for Magic, because they want you to keep buying cards, they make it so that for most formats, you can only use the most recent cards. Or if you want to do a eternal format, you have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to get all the stuff you need. But Pauper is cheap, and the cards that you buy will always be legal.
Would you like a non-brand specific black drink?
Why? Yes, I would like a non-brand specific black drink.
Coming right up. I'm almost ready.
This ad brought to you by non-brand specific carbonated black drinks. Anyway, yeah, so that's Pauper. And I've been looking at lots of deck lists and putting together things and pulling out bits of cardboard. And at some point when we get around to it, when we've got a bit more spare time, I am hoping to have a huge amount of decks put together for it. And so if you are into Magic the Gathering and you're around at ours at some point, challenge us to a game. You might find that commons only magic is a lot more powerful and a lot more fun than you'd expect. Do you have a pauper deck that you're most keen to try out? I mean, I know all the silly ones.
Cats!
You know, I'm not actually making the cat deck in the first 20.
Betrayal. Birds.
I'm not making birds in the first 20.
Goblins!
That one I am doing.
Okay.
Yeah, goblins. Yeah. Because I know you like your tribal themes. I know you like all angels, which is another
I
one
like
we
to
might
be
do.
immersed.
All mushrooms, all elves. Not in the first 20. I am doing all spirits from Kamigawa, though. So that's going to be pretty cool. All Shinto spirits.
I'd be into that.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Ooh,
But yeah, there's so many different options. The fact that there are 20 super powerful decks is awesome.
Oh, I don't have every kind of dice down here.
Oh, what do you need?
Some of my dice. You don't need to know.
What?
You don't need to know.
Well, we've got this one.
You know what? I'll take white since we're up in the white territory.
What do you need? This one then?
No, I've got another white D20 right here.
I'm going to remember whose dice is which. Actually, those are. I should have Ambrosia at the top.
And I'll take another set for fun. Let's just double down on the white theme and go for my glow-in-the-dark dice.
Good idea.
Okay.
It's nice to have.
I'm ready, and I have your... Oh, we should do a quick recap, actually.
The story so far!
I just watched Frozen 2 today, and it had that thing with when Olaf does the recap of Frozen 1 for the people they've just met. So funny.
I need to watch that again.
You do need to watch it.
I loved that movie so much.
It's so good. So I feel like
bonus talking about our favorite Disney franchises.
I feel like doing a recap in the style of Olaf. I don't think I
Take it away.
I don't think I can do it.
I expect the voice and everything.
No.
Also,
okay.
the comically rearranging your body.
And also, there's too many edits in that thing that he does. No.
I don't know, is there like crushing despair?
Yeah. That's something.
Oh. So there's a plug.
Not that they need it.
Not that
they definitely don't need it.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
None of our friends need that plug.
No. Okay, so you've got Ambrosio. He is the foundling, adopted, prodigiously talented son of Dinaldo.
Born under the sign of the Griffin, which means he is creative but also rash and impetuous.
You've got Valentino, who is the eldest son of the Dinaldo family.
And if you've been watching so far, the real protagonist of every fight scene.
You've got Rosalind, who at the beginning he was just like a family retainer, but it's sort of come out that he rescued Ambrosio as a baby somehow
and brought him
to Dinaldo. And that's
to be raised
all
in secrecy.
You really know about
he's not saying.
No, he and the mum sword, more on that later, are not saying anything about your past just yet.
We have Leona, who is another fosterling of the Dinaldo family.
And you are all
a cat person.
And you are all learning to smith. Well, you've learned already, but
our fifth party member is my mum.
Yeah, it's like
Maria, my mother, who is currently incarnated in the form of a sword that I made.
Yeah. All you really know so far about that is that she was fire touched in life, and she thinks that maybe that gave her some sort of channel to reincarnate through fire, but whatever that means is even Leona, who knows a little bit more about the sort of stuff, goes, what? And then actually, have you even talked to her about it?
Magic is magic. No, I don't think so. But yeah, magic is magic, and it works how magic works.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have been first off, you left Venora and you went to Medellano, where you got rebuffed by a bureaucratic smith's clerk. So you went to Falsina, which was another neighbour of the Medellano province, and you worked under Aurora, the smith there, and she taught you
had
things.
Shenanigans with students.
Yep. You beat up Gianni de Trion, who was up himself, Quicksilverborn.
Yeah.
And then you fled the city when he summoned the priesthood on you for being some sort of witch.
Yeah.
And then you went to
Fiumense. Where we weren't there very long, really, where we discovered that racism is bad.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
do racism.
Well, yeah, Ruslan got led around the nose by people being mean to him for some reason that has not yet been unpicked, but maybe one day it will be.
Yeah.
And then
it's not just that he's a dwarf.
Well, no, it was dwarves being racist to him.
Sure, but like
self-hating, sure, but like
also,
there's more to it.
Important other note: there is a cat under this table
who
is being my friend. So that's nice.
And then you had some sort of NPC theatre where some silvers and bronzes were being mean to each other.
Yeah.
So you then found out at the Silver Embassy, dun dun dun, Venora had been attacked. Joe, my friend. I mean, they both suck, but Joe. If you're coming here for that sort of politics, this isn't the right stream. Our politics is silver versus bronze. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So where were we? You ran to Venora.
Blue versus
Democrats are like the blue dragons, you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, like, Donald Trump is 100% red dragon. Van Senior, militaristic. Hey! All right. So anyway, this is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
we got to
we went to
Venora to find that the whole your hometown, to find that the whole place had been like utterly
wiped out and turned into
the Yang Gang is here. What?
The whole town had been turned into Unhallowed, which, if you were at Armageddon, you will have been responsible for destroying the demon-inhabited body of Ambrogio's foster father. So well done, team.
Yeah. So that was a shocking and horrible discovery. But then the goblins that you found there were then the key.
I think goblins have quickly become one of our favourite things in this whole
universe. So then the goblins led you through the sewers, led you into Middle.
Yeah.
And
we worked in the smithy there.
And you found out that secretly the gnome Tremolo, a master smith, was working with Stella Rosa, the smith there.
He's just a tremolo.
He is actually from not just Zagura, the city that was destroyed for trying to kill their dragon. Succeeding, but what you know, no, actually now your characters do know that they succeeded, because Tremolo can obviously say the truth.
Yeah.
But the public knowledge is that, they tried to overthrow their dragon, but they did not succeed, and the city got destroyed as a consequence.
Yeah.
But what you know now through Tremolo is there's actually a new city underground. What? So you finally managed to escape the bronze-occupied city.
And it's not just a terrible Switzerland pun, honest.
How is it a pun on Switzerland?
The bankers in Switzerland are nicknamed the Gnomes of Zurich.
I literally did not know that.
Well, yeah, because they live underground and they're obsessed with money. And so, the Gnomes of Zurich is a thing. It's a reference to the bankers there. And so I was like, well, where do the gnomes live? Obviously, they live in, I can't believe it's not Switzerland.
That's special.
So there you go. Now you know.
I've always really liked Zagura. But anyway, there is rumor now of, you've actually got someone with you who has been there and is leading you there now, or you're more leading him because he's an old, frail, slightly war-affected gnome who just wants to get the heck home. Also you got attacked by a gang of bronzes, and then one bronze sort
recruit,
of gang-pressed mercenary defected to your side, seeing that you were succeeding at running away, and he wanted to run away too. So.
Fidelio, who, if you have been on our Discord, you may have met. You may have seen my character on the Discord getting very drunk with them. And also, here is our special guest star.
It's Nimue!
It's Nimue!
She's not really in the frame yet. Get in the frame, Nim. Come here.
Sort of. There she is. Just.
Good
Hi,
morning,
Kiwi
Kiwi
Tanifa.
And
hi, everyone else, too. Just a tail.
Yeah. Well, I can just see butthole from here.
Cats.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, speaking of cats, we are 2-cat party now. Two
cats, a elf. Well, sorry, Fey touched.
Yeah. Wait, who's our Fey touched?
Stella Rosa was with you.
Oh, she's with us.
She didn't want to get pressed into producing weapons for the bronze, because remember, she is an artiste.
Yes.
So she didn't want to mass produce cheap swords for the bronze. She wants to escape to New Zagura as you know, a victim of the dragons.
Claire.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that we are a small family trying to escape the
I did not intentionally make this into Sound of Music, but it sort of is now. Ooh, and this is all about family.
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Oh God, it came back.
It is the Sound of Music.
We need to find a way to speed up our recap every day.
It just gets longer and longer each time.
Anyway, so your horoscope today, Abrogio.
Yes, what's my horoscope?
Sorrelina, the little sister moon, is in Pegasus, the 12th house. Prepare yourself for disillusionment, a death of innocence.
Oh.
Sorrelona, the big sister moon, in Troll, which is your 11th house. There is nothing that hard work and persistence cannot solve, mend, or overcome. And Sorella and Ziana, the old sister moon, in Sphinx, the 7th house. A change in perspective, a flexibility beyond the way things should happen, will be obeyed.
Oh. So we have a question. What is Switzerland's name? Let's see if I can remember the answer off the top of my head.
Does it actually have a name besides Segura?
So in the Middle Ages, Switzerland didn't actually really have a name.
Yeah, most of these places were just city-states.
Yeah, it hadn't unified yet. The unification happened a little bit later. So it was very much like individual places. So I can't remember the name of the mountain chains at the moment, though. Is it on the map?
No, I think you just labeled it.
No, I just labeled that one. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so the mountain chain has a name which something derived from Alps. Yeah.
I remember you. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I remember having this discussion with you, and I've read it because it was in Double Cross.
It was in Double Cross.
It's in the introductory guide.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not. It's not like a country. It's just...
It means the Pale Mountains.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember
Pallade.
what the word Pallade. That's right, because Pallade looks like pallid.
Yeah, which is pale. Yes.
Pale.
Yeah.
I knew I should have
Formerly, it's like Il Montagna Pallade, but everyone just calls it Il Pallade. Yeah, the Pale Mountains. Yeah. And then there are other non-specified countries on the other side, because one of the ideas with Tirenia is that if you want to not be from Tirenia and you're a foreigner, you can contribute some detail. The rest of the world is intentionally left a bit blank.
This is not the first time we've been into White Dragon territory. In fact, your first game ever set in Tirenia went into White Dragon territory.
That was a little bit further south.
A mountain valley called the Selassie Valley. And it was a good adventure. But so far as you know, the White Dragon where you're headed isn't existing anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us begin.
Yes.
You have trudged together as a team for 2 days straight before you finally feel safe enough to camp out.
We must be pretty exhausted at this point.
Yeah, everyone is, but at the same time, the idea of getting caught by the bronze is motivation enough to
very
keep
motivating,
going. So, feeling safe enough and finding a cave in the sort of rocky foothills where you are, you guys bed down for the night to get some rest.
Yeah, shivering and wishing that we had cold weather equipment.
Yeah. Well, there might be some villages sometime soon, though you have to be careful, obviously, watching out for the bronzes.
Yeah.
But there, you have enough equipment and stuff to knock together a fire. And the thing is that there is a little bit to go around because, of course, Stella and Tremolo had a go kit.
Right.
They just had a go kit for 2 people. They didn't have... Well, actually, no, to be fair, you guys would have added to it a little bit where you could while you were in the bronze occupation.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot. There's definitely not enough for everyone to have their own blanket. So there is a little bit of blanket sharing going on.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, oh gosh, this is the last rations we're going to have in a while, so we're going to have to hunt from now on, or
find a town. I think
find
the main thing. We should be outside of the bronze dragons sort of area of control, and we can get some actual cold weather gear.
Yeah. So, do you go straight to sleep, or do you want to have a chat to anyone, or actually you feel a sort of vibration on your hip?
Okay, well, I guess I haven't actually had much time to talk to Mum recently because we've been fleeing, and having a noticeable sword is just a good way to get.
You were not wearing her while you were smithing, trying to look obviously law-abiding under the eye of the bronzes.
So I now remove the blankets that I had or wrapped around the mum sword. Probably needs a better name. I kind of like the mum sword. And then
What's Italian for sword?
Spada.
Would it be Spada Mama or Mama Spada? Mama Spada.
Kind of sounds like Spider Mama.
Spider Mom. Anyway,
I put my hand on the pommel and think at it. Are you there?
Yeah, always. Are we safe now?
Maybe.
I'm proud of you. You did well. You were cautious. You listened to the people that you were with. This is good. You couldn't know what was going to happen to Metalano. I don't blame you for getting trapped there. But now we're out, so that's good. We have to keep being cautious and get to safety.
Is there safety anywhere?
I reckon New Zagura sounds pretty damn safe. So yeah, let's go there. I mean, like, if literally no one knows about it, except obviously you guys, because you've met this Tremolo person, then I don't see how any place could be safer.
When the dragons find out about it, though, and they will.
Sure.
How can they keep an entire city secret?
The gnomes are pretty clever. Just I reckon just go there and see what they've done. You know, if we get there and we're underwhelmed by their defenses, then we can think about leaving. I'm not saying it has to be a home. I'm just saying it's probably a pretty good place to regroup for a bit.
Then again, once we're there, if it's such a secret, the gnomes might not want us leaving.
The gnomes aren't really authoritarian like that. We'll see. They're pretty free. We'll see. But yeah, so I'm surprised how cautious you're being. I thought I'd have to keep warning you to be cautious all the time.
How long were we in Metalano for?
Oh gosh, it was about a week. Months? Oh no, it was about a month maybe at the most. I honestly can't remember from last session. Yeah.
because we were there for the siege.
Oh,
the
yeah,
siege took place
you're
for
right, you're right. Sorry,
the siege was
a couple of months.
about a month or more,
Couple
and then
months,
another month
yeah.
afterwards.
Month for the
which means
siege,
we're now
and then a little
solidly
while.
into autumn now.
Yeah.
Which also means this is the furthest ahead in the timeline that we've gotten. Ooh, the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 months in the shadow of the bronze dragons.
Fair enough. Never
Don't worry.
taught me anything.
I'm sure I'll still do something stupid at the next opportunity.
You talk yourself down too much. You should stop that. Ambrosio.
Right.
I don't like how you down talk yourself so much. You're doing really well.
Actually, given that we're now 2 days out and we're running out of supplies and stuff, who are the ones who are starting to grumble?
So Rosalind was grumbling, but now him and Fidelio are making plans about hunting.
Right.
Yeah.
Tremolo?
Tremolo? No, so Tremolo is like... Okay, so the whole time that you've been going, he's been very sort of distant and focused. It's almost like he's trying to, he's looking at the mountain peaks that are coming up and he's triangulating positions, and he knows the secret ways.
It would be quite hard to find where you're going in the mountains.
Yeah, so he's being really distant and not talking much, but he does sort of grumble. Occasionally he grumbles, and when he grumbles, it's like really quiet, really quick. Like he'll say a quick flutter of words.
I imagine we haven't really talked yet.
No, he's not very
outgoing.
No, he's not very outgoing.
Yeah,
and
I think
Stella's sort of like
a
protective
little
of him.
bit intimidated.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Stella's like a little bit protective of him. Like she's sort of like, it's almost like she's collected him.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
That. Now she grumbles all the time. She's being a frickin' drama queen.
She's used to her luxury city where she is an artist.
This is beneath an artiste.
Yeah.
The other thing that's been happening, sort of as you guys get more and more relaxed, is that Fidelio and Leona have been talking a lot. So that's an interesting thing. Before you can come to a sort of end with your conversation with your mum, Valentino walks over and claps his hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
He says, can I talk to you away from everyone for a sec?
Does he know about the sword?
No, I don't think you've told him or Leona. I've told Rosalind, obviously.
I've told Rosalind.
Yeah.
I think we might have just not gotten around to telling everyone else about it. It might be something we would... Actually, I think by now it's something that has been mentioned off screen.
Okay, sure.
Because it's not something I would have kept secret for that length of time. Okay.
And once Rosalind lets you tell the secret as well. It's sort of permission once someone knows.
So, of course, I say, and I take my hand off the hilt of the sword as well.
I think even though you were sitting there with the sword looking concentrated, I don't think he actually noticed that you were communing with the sword, you know what I mean? You were just sitting there doing nothing. Whatever. Anyway, so he takes you out to look at the cave mouth, and there's a valley that's, starting to get a bit of a chilly wind, and the trees are starting to go yellow and brown.
You can see the mountains, and there is snow on them.
Yeah.
I just remembered another sort of fun bonus, cross fantasy thing.
Yeah.
When Tolkien was young, he went to Switzerland.
Oh.
And he was so impressed that all the mountains and all the, Bilbo going, I want to see mountains again. All the mountains of Middle-earth are Switzerland.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And in particular, Rivendell.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Rivendell with its whole, it's somewhere in the mountain foothills.
Because who else is obsessed with Switzerland? Mary Shelley.
Yes.
And so, I'm just thinking of all the scenes that she does in Switzerland. There's a lot of linkages there.
Yeah. Can't help but give you the bonus history watches.
So, the cave mouth faces east, and it looks over this huge valley. And further up the valley towards the higher mountains, you actually start to see some lights of a town coming out. So there is a village nearby, like up the mountains that way.
Great.
So
I guess we both look at it and think Switzerland is beautiful, and I would love to go there.
Nice. Also, you haven't been?
No.
Okay. Neither have I. I haven't been to Europe.
Yeah. I have been to Italy before, but we went out through, we went out along the coast, so we didn't go through Switzerland. We did go to Luxembourg, and then we came out of Luxembourg about 20 minutes later.
Okay, so, and he yeah, that's maybe a good place to go tomorrow, one. Anyway,
yeah.
Ambrosio, and he gets very serious, and he says,
"Yes, Val?
I'm the only one left of the blood of Donaldo, but I want you, if I die before you, and I haven't had any kids, I want you to be the heir of the Donaldo family."
Well, Ambrosio gulps for a moment, and then says, "Well, then it's doubly important that we get to that town up on the hill there."
I'm not.
Come on, you're not going to die.
I'm not. I don't mean now, duh. I just mean, like, you know.
Jeez.
Everything that's happened, like, you know, I had some close calls, and, you know.
I seem to get knocked out every time we get into a fight.
Anyway, I'm trying to say a thing, and you're like, oh, of course you're being flippant. It's fine. No, look, you're my brother, okay? And I want you. I'm gonna sign the papers over to you to say that if I die, then you're the inheritor of the estate. I'm sorry I've been a bit funny since coming back from my training, but
are you finally going to say what that's all about?
look, just
I
pissed off someone, all right? Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
Sure, fine.
I made an enemy, but well, you saw what I said to those guys, and like, I guess they won't be back, so whatever.
Well,
it's water under the bridge. Just won't go back to Mataro. Ever for the rest of my life.
Making it to myself. Mataro is off limits. Because while I now want to go there immediately and find out what's going on, Ambrosio, I think, would respect that. The teenage which one? Both of them?
Yeah, anyway, and he punches you on the arm and initiates a play fight. And
this is what passes for hugs.
And then Ruslan is like, oi, you know, stop drawing attention, shuts you back in the cave.
Sure, and I think we both put up our hands in supplication, and then as soon as he turns away, throw the snowballs of the first slushy snow, and at least one of us will hit, right? And
Sweet.
Yeah.
And Leona is sitting at the back of the cave with Fidelio rolling her eyes at your hijinks, smirking, and Stella Rosa is like rolling her eyes, but like clearly in a like I am superior way rather than oh my siblings kind of way. So the night passes
without incident.
Oh,
did you just see my note? That
I did. I'm laughing. It's hilarious. He wrote, "Get Valentino a girlfriend." Haha. We'll see. We'll see what you say about that shortly.
/ boyfriend.
Okay, so day 2.
/ yeah.
Day 2. Fidelio.
Oh, how are we for clean drinking water at this point? Because I have had an idea.
Yeah, what?
Once we get up into the mountains...
Oh, snow.
I can melt snow.
Cool.
And, actually useful ability for Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like keeping warm at night won't actually be a problem.
Nobody has to like go and find tinder or anything.
Yeah, we're going to be sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, once you reach the snow line, you'll be able to
impale the mum sword in the middle of the fireplace. That's pretty awesome, actually, when you think about it.
So Fidelio and I think Valentino, and just the two of them. It's like they got up earlier than you and made an arrangement.
Right.
They've decided to go off and hunt together.
Sure.
And meet up with you guys at the village outskirts.
Sure. While we head straight there.
Yeah. Seeing what they can catch, because they consider themselves the fastest and sneakiest.
Yeah. Oh, did I wind up learning Stella Rosso's technique?
You know what? You totally would have.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't really decided what her technique is. It's probably something decorative, but like highly sought after, like gilding or something.
Actually, the other thing that we said she was the one who makes the armor for the Silver Paladins, the now disbanded Silver Paladins. One of the things they have is that their armor has a particular like tint to it, which is very distinctive.
There you go. You've learned how to chromatically tint.
Yeah. It's
metals. Yeah.
I imagine it's some sort of alloy work that can give it this very distinctive color without compromising the quality.
Cool.
And it still is actually part of the metal. So
totally. Okay, that's what you've learned from Stella Rosa. You've
cool.
I think maybe she was trying to like pack her pigments and then crying dramatically when they wouldn't fit in her bags. So instead, she decided to, in her words, waste the pigments on the swords that you guys were mass producing, so that you could learn her technique.
Right.
And also, as a sort of, it was like her own little rebellion.
Yeah.
Against the order of the
bunch
Bonzes.
Of silver swords.
No, not silver, like rainbow swords. She has produced the pride flag of swords as a sort of FU to the order and uniformity of the bronze. Yeah. So you learnt that technique.
Cool.
You haven't learnt Tremolo's technique yet.
No.
Although, we'll see. See with that one. Okay, so
I should really write down what all my techniques are.
Yeah, you should. So you've learnt engraving from it probably should have some sort of, I don't know, effect. But
so I've learnt engraving.
You've learnt engraving from Aurora, and you've learnt tinting from Stella Rosa.
So it's Aurora and Falsina.
You didn't spend enough time in Fermentsay to learn the technique, but you can come back one day.
And tinting from Stella.
Hell yeah, tinting.
In
Medellano.
Medellano, of course. Okay. And how many techniques did I need? Like 5?
Yeah, 5.
Jeez.
It's doable before the end of the campaign, and I mean, even if it did end, it's like
And then he went on and got the rest of the techniques. Yeah.
Okay, so
actually, I'm going to give you a counter offer of 7.
Okay.
It's a much more significant number.
Sure. Okay.
So, which means I really need to get on with it.
Some of it might happen off stage.
Sure.
Like
going back to Fermentsay,
that'll happen off stage.
We'd just be like, as a stop over.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Actually, you probably would stop over before going to a certain other location
that we have been talking about. Was the thing.
Okay. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway.
So you make it up to the village without any. The valleys that you're traveling through are still pretty, like the roads are still in good order and stuff like this is still the very habited, not very wild part of
there's quite a few like small lakes in this area.
But the further up you get, the wilder it will be. So there's definitely this village with outfitters that you can go to and stuff.
I'm imagining people herding goats.
Yeah.
Probably still too low down, but that's still what I'm imagining.
Oh, no. Definitely, this is a very much more rustic.
Yeah.
People here aren't as cosmopolitan as your big Tyrenian cities and stuff.
Yeah.
So the clothing that you can buy, and you're really just buying secondhand clothing from farmers. There isn't really, the outfitters have a few like mountain climbing things, general survival hunter type stuff. And maybe one or two cloaks, but you do have to go and ask for a cast off. Some people do have cast offs because this is the sort of village where you can see, actually, it is, they do have goats and sheep and stuff, because you see there's a very social thing where it's like a lot of old women on porches making cloaks and hats, and people have a lot of warm clothes here, so you can get some of the old stuff with holes in them and stuff that people are done wearing.
Secondhand clothing shops are actually a thing in the Renaissance. Most people got their clothes secondhand. Yeah,
you won't be spending too much money here though, but so you should probably buy some sort of climbing gear from Player's Handbook. You probably should. Tremolo suggests, well, more than suggests, insists that we buy some climbing gear.
Yeah.
And I guess just some.
Are they gonna? Oh no, climber's kit. 25 gold.
Yeah.
Do we have 25 gold?
Just.
Oh, actually, they have more money to chuck in.
Oh, yeah, actually, they would. How many people have we got here?
We've got 7.
Okay. So everyone chucks in.
And traveller's clothes are 2 gold each.
Everyone chucks in 3.5 gold. And then chucks in the traveller's clothes as well.
Yeah. Some of us have traveller's clothes already, but. Okay, so
warm ones.
Yeah,
you do need to buy
ones.
Cloaks and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're also able to, with that, a couple of old ladies, take interest in you and hear your cover story of why you're all traveling in the hills, and offer you a little lunch to take away.
Oh God, what is our what is our cover story?
Oh yeah,
that's pretty important. Well, I think we are
probably traveling. Oh no, you can't get away with being traveling merchants when you've got no.
We can't be merchants. We don't have any stock or wagons or anything. We can't be monks because, we're clearly not.
Yeah, and you've got men and women in the same group, so it's not.
Yeah.
Probably very kosher.
Pilgrims.
Yeah. Well, you could be escorting this old gnomish gentleman.
Oh yes, there we go. Yeah. To the lands of his birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of you are his hired bodyguards, and one of you is Leona is his maidservant.
Yeah, there we go.
And you're his apprentice or something, I don't know. And Stella is his wife.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And so you're able to go and it's actually a pleasant sunny day. It's like early autumn, very picnic weather still, and so
and we're not high up.
Yeah. So you go and sit in a nice meadow where you know that you can be seen for miles around. So Fidelio and Valentino should find you pretty easily, and you've bought their equipment for them with their money. So while you're having your little
do we need to get food as well?
Fireworks tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, do get some supplies as well, please.
Okay. Let's see how much it would cost for rations.
You're gonna need 3 days, says Tremolo.
Okay. So 1.5 florins.
Cool. And while you're eating and You and Leona are sitting on a little low stone wall away from the older people, because old people are boring. um, you,
I'm
Leona,
down to 5 salty.
Leona is like, hey, how you doing?
Right now I'm good.
Yeah?
I say, and I think Ambridge is a little bit surprised by this, thinking about it, because there's been so much going on in the last, like, let's call it 3 months in total since we left home, right? There's been so much going on, but right now, actually, you know, he's surrounded by some people are exasperating, some people are his friends, but you know, it's sunny. He's got food. He's got something he's doing.
It's really nice to be out of that city.
Yes.
When I first saw it, I thought it was like really pretty, but then it sort of became like a cage.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just about to say we are the same.
Yeah. We always sort of do that, don't we? Like.
Yeah. Wait, is this the character?
In character.
Because I was saying that I was just
No. We always. It's funny, yeah. I feel like I know you so well.
Well, we did, grow up together.
Yeah, I know. Duh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't finish Valentino's sentences. Anyway, yeah. What do you think about Fidelio?
I think Ambrosia has some mixed emotions here. I think there's a certain amount of like. Actually, important question. When did they start living together? Yeah.
Oh, like he would have maybe been 6 or 7.
Okay.
And she was found, and like the best guess was she was the same age as you, but she sort of seemed like mentally younger for a bit.
Sure.
She's caught up quickly and perhaps even surpassed you in some ways, because you are a teenage boy after all.
She is considerably smarter than me or Valentino.
But when you met her, you distinctly remember, you can actually remember hearing your father saying, she's like a little kitten.
Yeah.
Like she didn't speak common. Like she was just basically this empty vessel almost. In fact, your memories of her coming to the household are very, very vague.
Well, Ambrogio is
but you do
when he
that.
thinks about what do you think about Fidelio? Ambrogio has a sudden dislike of Fidelio. And it's like, you better not mess with my little sister. Or is it more than that?
Complicated feelings one has to unpick over time.
Yeah, but with his wisdom 8, Ambrogio is not great at this. Ambrogio is like, I have feelings, and then I punch things and set them on fire.
So with all of that in your head, what does Ambrogio say to Leona? When she asks, what do you think about Fidelio?
He is, remember, a teenage boy.
Perfect, yeah. Perfectly in character response.
Yeah.
And she just sort of like laughs and nudges you so you sway off the.
And then I think I roll an insight check to see what she thinks.
Oh! So with your crap wisdom.
Yeah, and my insight of. I've actually got +1. So I've got 19.
You get the sudden, distinct feeling, can this be right? Was she fishing for like a jealous response? Was she? No. Could it be? No way. Really? Could she possibly feel that way about you? That would be weird. She's like a sister.
That's weird.
No way. No, you're totally imagining things.
Yeah.
That would be. But you do at the same time feel intensely protective of her.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think Do we know if we can, like, really trust him?
Well, he says that it wasn't his fault about the whole, like, being press ganged into the bronzes.
Sure, but if he got an opportunity to sell us out or sell Tremolo out, I bet he'd do it and say it wasn't his fault.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll keep working on him then.
Okay. Wait, what?
I'll use my feminine wiles. What? I totally have feminine wiles. Just because, like, siblings. Whatever.
Gross.
And she actually has gotten out of him his whole sob story,
Right.
which she relays to you, which is that.
Oh, God. Yes, that's right.
This is what Fidelio has told her. Fidelio fell in love with a snake-headed woman who told him that her name was Ophidia.
Yeah.
But the relationship was more than it seemed, because as he got to know her, and this has all happened in Fiumense, of course, which you know from
in the Discord, server,
there was actually he started getting introduced to other male friends of hers.
Oh.
And then she started having all these men around for meetings in which she would get suddenly very heated about political issues. Basically, she turned all of her boyfriends into bronze recruits.
Gross.
And actually, her name wasn't Ophidia at all. It was the Sibilant. And
I mean, that's a job, not a.
Well,
name,
yeah, but
we know she
was the and so he got. He found himself suddenly in the bronze recruits, and then found out that she'd been arrested by rebels somewhere. She'd been taken captive by rebels.
If you want the full story of this, why not check out Street Rat, which has 10 chapters so far. That's Claire's Bitsy game that she's been doing all
Everything's very intertwined.
It's one of the fun things of Tirenia, I think. So I hope everybody else thinks that too and isn't just getting completely lost as to what's going on.
Basically, all you need to know is this guy got basically honey trapped into becoming a recruit for the Bronze, and then his girlfriend, the person who thought he was his girlfriend, vanished, and suddenly there he was, a recruit in the Bronze. Whoops, this isn't what I meant to be. And also, like, he went in there as a mercenary, right, thinking that he'd be able to retain his freedoms and everything, but no, this is the Bronze. So they press ganged him, and they put him in, like, the animal-headed division, and they were like, your name's Fidelia, and your name's Fidelio, let's put you together, put the sheep with the cat, isn't that funny, predator and prey, and they had all sorts of, like, horrible jokes where they were, like, talking about him predating on her and stuff. He really wanted to get out of there, so he's pretty, or at least this is what Leona says his front is, that he seems pretty happy to be out.
That's pretty awful.
And, and for now, you're stuck with him going to New Zagura.
Out of character, I am pretty sure he's exaggerated some of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, speak of the devil, him and Valentino come back.
Have they caught anything?
Yes, they have. They have a few conies over the shoulder, and looks like, there'll be a nice stew tonight and some dried meat for later on, and
Great. Well, I imagine in our rations we'll have some dried meats and dried fruit, a bit of cheese, a sausage, or some sausages, bit of, like...
Oh, you're heading into sausage territory now.
Wait, what?
Up in, like, Switzerland and Austria and Germany. Those are, like, sausage countries, aren't they?
So is Italy, actually.
Oh, true, yeah. Okay, cool. So, the whole of Europe, really. Europe's just loved to stuff leftover meat into the intestines of the
leftover meat.
I mean, like, yeah. So, do you want to leave the village? And Tremolo was saying, let's keep going. There are more caves further up, and we should keep going if we want to get there.
Actually, while we were still here, I think I think we would want to find a garrulous old grandma and just gossip about what the news is.
Sure, sure,
And we'll
sure.
share what we've heard from the east.
Okay, so you find a bunch of particularly garrulous old knitting grandmas on their porch, and they say, "Oh, not much news makes it up here, but we know about the bronzes have occupied Medlana. They're probably going to try and come up here, but then again, what's really up here for them? It's probably the main reason why they haven't just come sweeping up here anyway, is because it's not a heck of a lot. I mean, maybe they'll come, in spring and summer to try and get some of the metal ores, but
I feel like one of these people will probably, I don't think it'll be Ambrosia, but one of them will say they'll come up here, plant their flag, and just leave again.
Yeah. I mean, we probably won't put up much of a resistance. We don't see a lot of the white dragons around here, so we're pretty happy. In some ways, this place can be pretty idyllic, even if it is like backwater. No one cares. Yeah, everyone's fairly happy here, sort of eking out an existence on the edge of edge of survivable land. Yeah.
For a moment, Ambrosia actually thinks, wouldn't it be nice to just sort of stop here?
If only you didn't have like burgeoning magical powers that would single you out from quiet pastoral society.
Also, the bronzes would come plant the flag and be like, "Hey, who are you?"
Yeah. So, anything else you want to ask them about?
Oh, just if they've heard anything from the mountains, any news. What's the weather like? The pass is open.
The weather seems to be good this week. I think the
What's
old woman,
like this time of year.
Yeah. And an old man chimes in now about the state of his knees.
That's ineffable.
His weather predicting knees. It's still very early. The storms come later in the season.
Right, so the passes are still open.
The passes are still open. You want to hurry up and get over there, though.
Yeah.
But why are you even going over there? There's not a heck of a lot to be done. You'd be better served going the long way because you'll see a lot more villages and stuff by the seaside if you're trying to get into next country.
Yeah, out of Tirenia.
Yeah, if you're trying to get out of Tirenia, because the passes are a long and lonely way to exit Tirenia. It would be far better to take the longer but safer and more hospitable route of the coast.
We explain that Tremolo will go and make an offering to on the ruins. Actually, I imagine that's probably like a standard cover story for a lot of gnomes. Return home, put a little offering down on the ruins of.
And the women all do the sign of the stake quickly, and the old man spits and sighs sadly. Terrible business, and says, "Well, Senior Gnome will know best. The gnomes know these mountains like the back of their hand. But if you ask me, you should hurry down after you've been, just in case the storms come early this year. They have been known to come early sometimes."
Thanks, Father. Well, depending on age, grandfather, or Yeah. Appropriate honorific here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you want to ask them?
No, I think it's
okay. Cool. Well, you get a little bit further up the mountain.
It's more like a, hey, do you have any plot hooks you need to give me?
Oh, no.
sort of thing.
No, nothing of the sort.
Yeah.
So you get a bit further up the mountains, and Tremolo points to a cave. And in this cave, as opposed to the other one, you actually find, Tremolo actually points them out to you, some secret signs of
this is like gnomish trail signs.
Yeah, this is like a pilgrimage cave.
Yeah. I'm going to jot down gnomish pilgrimage because that's such a good cover story.
Yeah.
That's becoming a thing.
Totally.
Also, we really need to figure out what the Tirenian name for gnomes is.
Yeah.
And dwarves. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like the dwarves might be the makers.
Sure.
Because dwarf, they wouldn't call themselves dwarves.
No. Sure. Yeah,
Other
actually,
people
that's a
would,
good
but
one.
like that's a racist word, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that night at the campfire, everyone's sort of minding their own business. You're hanging out with the kids again.
Yeah.
Fidelia's actually being a bit more like standing watch sort of thing this time. And so you're with Leona and Valentino. And then Rosalind comes over and says, hey, do you mind if I talk to Maria, please?
Oh, not at all.
Oh, thanks. And takes Maria off over into a corner and has a quiet conversation. And a conversation with Valentino and Leona carries on as normal for a little bit, and you're thinking about getting down to bed, and you're probably not even thinking about the fact that Rosalind has Maria because it's Rosalind.
It's a pretty standard thing. He has Maria.
But then you feel her calling out to you. She sounds pissed.
I get up and I go over to Rosalind.
And his eyes are closed. What do you do? He's holding the sword. There's maybe a furrow in his brow, but he doesn't. I mean, he's not a particularly emotive guy unless he's raging. He's not particularly emotive, but there's maybe a furrow of either concentration or frustration in his brow.
I put my hand on the sword as well.
And you hear...
maybe that way we can have like a three-way conversation.
And you hear, you're not going to tell him, Laurentio. And then suddenly Maria realizes you're listening.
Laurentio?
And she shuts up. And Rosalind's eyes snap open in panic, and he sort of scoots back.
Hang on. Laurentio?
Yes. That was my name. A long, long time ago. That was the name that she told you.
Yeah.
She told you, find Laurentio.
Yeah.
And then when she had a talk with him, she went, it's okay, I don't need to find Laurentio anymore.
That's right.
And the reason why she didn't need to find Laurentio is that Rosalind is Laurentio.
Right.
But what does that mean? And then Rosalind sighs and completely hands Maria back to you and says, I'm sorry, I wanted to tell you some more things, but your mother doesn't want me to, and she's literally your mother, so I'm gonna just... Until she says I can tell you some stuff,
Laurentio.
Hey, come on. I've been Rosalind for the last 2 decades. You really shouldn't say that name in public circles, alright?
I look around, there's hardly public circles.
I know, but that name will get us in trouble if you say it in front of other people. And we don't know anything about him.
That's true. Okay, I lower my voice a bit, but why? Who are you really?
I had another life before this, in which I knew your mother, which is why she asked me to rescue you from the thing she won't let me tell you about. I was not a good person, and that's why you really don't want to go saying that name around, because if someone connects Rosalind with Laurentio, there could be repercussions from the past.
You worked with the Black Dragons, didn't you?
Bingo.
Well,
yeah, I mean, he had the black sword, and yeah.
I figured that out a while ago, but Ambridge is a little bit slow.
And Rosalind gets just the like, oh shit look on his face. And, sorry, swearing beep. And the mum saw, so Maria's just like, oh. Have to go swinging your bloody obsidian sword around. Of course he was going to figure out black dragons eventually. For goodness sake.
That's why you don't want me going back to Kaimeopoli, isn't it? Because the dragon you worked for is still there.
Yeah. Exactly. And I don't want to go back to Kaimiopolai because then my old boss might find me, and you don't quit working for the Black Dragons. Understand?
No, we did the roll already where I know about the Benevoli, didn't I?
I forget, either you succeeded the role or you got explained to you that you don't mess with the Benevoli.
Yeah, because the public understanding is that the Black Dragons tried to set up a state and it failed.
Yeah.
And that they're just gone, basically. It was the failed power.
No, you know that the Benevoli are organised crime.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we don't have to have that conversation again.
Ruslan was an enforcer for them.
Yeah.
And he quit, and you don't quit.
And I think I know why, and I think I know more about what's going on. But I don't think Ambrogio, with his intelligence 10, wisdom 8, does. So I think that's as far as he gets to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, if a sword could grit its teeth, that's what the feeling you're getting from the sword right now. Of just, she really didn't want you to know this because you are so much closer to the truth now.
Yeah.
But you can also sense that she's really hoping that you will heed Ruslan warning about, I do not want to go back to Kaimiopolai because I will get... the mob will kill me.
Yeah, we're all dead.
Well, you might not. I mean, the others might not be. You, who knows? That would mean I'm picking more of your backstory. But Ruslan, if he were found out...
Yeah.
Probably did. But then, why isn't he dead already?
Because he ran off to a tiny little place and hid, almost as far away from the Black Dragons as you can get.
It has been 18 years, and it seems... Roll it, and roll it against your int.
No.
No. Jeez, Venura really is a podunk town.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or was.
It's even more of a podunk town now.
Now it's just Gobblitopia Mark II.
Right. So you have unpicked another mystery of your life.
Yeah.
So...
right. Ruslan, brackets, Laurentia.
So it's another day of travel.
Yeah, further up into the mountains, maybe.
And roll your insight, please.
Everyone or just me?
No, just you. This is you looking at the people you're traveling with.
Oh, that's 16.
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Valentino is worried about something. He keeps looking back.
Yeah.
Over his shoulder. And Hunnim sorting through cards.
Oh.
Looking over his shoulder, stopping to sort of, as if he's noting tracks or something. Are you going to ask him about it?
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
Hey, Val, what's up?
Hey, I just...
You really need to learn more Italian for this.
Yeah. I worry that we might be being followed. And the others all stop and, especially Tremolo, stop and turn and are like, what? Seriously? Like, who? The bronze? Who's following us?
How?
And he looks really embarrassed that everyone heard him. Who is good at survival?
Noah.
Okay, you know who is? Fidelio.
Yeah.
So can you roll a Fidelio dice for me, please? I think yellow, because he's a ginger tomcat. Nice.
12 plus.
It'll probably be like plus 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah. And he comes to look at the signs that Valentino's pointing out, and he goes, yeah. Someone's scouring these mountains, though whether it's for us, I
see. So someone's searching, and they've already been here. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. And Fidelio says, I think maybe the two of us should walk at the back just to see we're not being, like, says to Valentino, maybe we should walk at the back and just sort of see if we can figure out if we're being, pursued from behind, or if this is just
I really wish we had passed without trace right now.
Yeah.
Such a good spell.
Rosalind says not to worry. We'll form up a tight barrier
Right.
around our more vulnerable members, and
I put my hand on the mum sword and relay all of this. Can she actually just like hear stuff generally, or do I need to?
she can
tell
sort
her?
of hear it a little bit, but
It's a little bit
she
muffled.
appreciates when her son talks to her.
Sure.
So
And part of it is also like I might not be setting stuff on fire as much anymore.
Rosalind, well, actually, yeah. Although people have definitely appreciated you getting fresh water for them.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'll drop back and have a chat to the other two as well.
Covering your tracks.
Can we make fake tracks?
Yeah. I mean, with some clever diverting of water, you could actually completely muddy the track behind you.
Yeah, and if I were to like explode something over there,
you could even cause like a little mini avalanche.
Yeah,
if you
just like
try,
it
if
could
you aimed
make
it carefully enough.
Because one of the things that if people are following us, they know that there are fires. So I wait until we've got a sort of a sheltered area because I don't want to be doing sound in the open because going woof with a fiery sword is just a great way to get people to notice exactly where you are. So I wait till we're in a sort of an enclosed valley, and then we're gonna try and do some fun fireworks here. And I'm talking to Fidelio and Valentino because they will be able to guide me on the best way to do this. But the idea is
we're going to Tremolo also comes up and actually starts strategically helping you, like aim here.
Yeah, cool.
He knows the mountains.
Now the other part of this is, oh no, I can shoot firebolts, can't I? Yeah, that is something I know how to do. Yeah, so I'm going to try.
Yeah, appropriate.
Huh?
You're shooting fireworks.
Oh yeah. That is very true. So yeah, I'm going to try and channel a great big gout of fire to well, firstly, one big gout to leave scorch marks to be like, look, we went over that way. We clearly took that route out of here, and then another more subtle one to just melt a bit of snow behind us,
right,
and to sort of like wash away our tracks a bit.
Nice. You upset a lot of snow and mud, and you create.
I apologise to it for hurting its feelings.
You create a pretty effective covering of the tracks. Yeah. You have in fact covered the pass below you. But you can't see any travellers coming up behind you. It
does mean that people will probably, if anyone gets near here, they'll know we've been here.
Yeah.
But hopefully, do you want me to roll anything for this?
But you've definitely created an impassable terrain for a week.
Yeah, and hopefully
unless
it also
can find an alternative.
Hints that we went a different way.
Yeah. No, you don't have to roll for this. You've manipulated the environment in such a way.
Yeah. And it's things that I can do, I guess.
Yeah. And Valentino seems at ease, and you continue on your way.
Yeah.
Can I get a...
Actually, I'm going to ask something else too.
Yes.
And that is, at night, when it's my turn to do the watch, when it's Fidelio's turn to do the watch, I want to keep my eye on him.
Okay, cool.
It's like, if someone were following us,
yeah, sure.
Is he doing anything or leaving any signs or anything?
It's between 10 and 12 at night, and Fidelio's turn to watch, and you're lying.
I'll be pretty drowsy. I'll be trying to pretend that I'm sleeping.
You're there in your bedroll, just peering up at him, and he's just sort of looking out at the night sky and tail twitching again.
Yeah.
You hear a sort of stirring breath over with Leona, and she blinks her eyes open and sort of gives you a little smile and sort of starts drifting back to sleep. Can you roll her dice, please?
Oh, her dice?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's she doing?
Can I have... would it be... Oh, Give me her perception, please.
Okay. 10. So if it's
No.
an easy thing, she succeeds.
No. It was a very difficult thing.
Then no.
It was a thing that no one considered at all. You know what? I'll give you a chance to. It can either be your perception or... Oh, no, you know what? You can use an intelligence score for it if you want, because your wisdom's a bit... No, you definitely don't consider this either. Neither of the two magic users in the team consider... Actually, no. There's another one. Tremolo.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, we don't
Let's have a dice for him, and let's have him roll... Actually, what sort of... He'll definitely be an intelligence-based guy.
Yeah.
Let's have him roll and investigate at, say, +4.
Sure.
No, he doesn't even think about it because he doesn't even know you guys.
Yeah,
so,
no one thinks about this.
No one thinks to try maybe a detect magic or anything.
I'm not sure anybody actually knows how to.
Doesn't
I don't.
Leona?
Yeah, Leona can now.
So nobody's thought about detecting magic. Nobody's thought about any sort of magic tracking.
No, we're all feeling new to the
Yeah, totally.
So
and also tracking is not anyone's strength here. So nobody has thought about this. As suddenly Fideli goes, guys, wakey, wakey. Sword starts clanging his two swords together like,
Yeah, we scramble up, and I grab the mum sword from the fireplace that we've set up where it's giving us all heat.
As into the firelight steps 7 men outside the mouth of the cave.
Uh-oh.
One of them, the main... Well, okay, no, I'll describe the ones on the outside first, and I'll get to like the like movie shot, right? You've got an assembled gang behind this leader of some sort of tough roguish types, some more straight soldiery types, and some maybe potentially magic user types, just sort of hanging back like, yeah, we got this.
A gang who've got magic user types.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then the main guy is wearing like darkest grey, like the lead of a pencil, like almost black.
Yeah.
But with just that little bit of silvery greyish sheen within the black armour. It must be freezing to have all this beautiful armour on up here in the mountains, all this metal touching you. But he's... No, he's not black. He's very, very dark grey. Very, very dark.
Metallic
grey.
Dark grey.
Metallic dark grey, if you will. And his hair, despite the fact that he's young, his hair is also a dark grey, and his eyes are a stormy dark grey.
Like iron colour,
yes,
perhaps?
Definitely. A man in a gleaming, not rusty at all, suit of iron armour steps up. Valentino, you will come with me, and you will answer for your crimes.
Well, Ambrogio has wisdom 8, and anger is his good point.
Oh,
so, in the middle of the darkness, suddenly, whoomph. You've got to get through me first.
I think we need to see how everyone else reacts to this too.
Sure, okay.
Because Valentino, you get the distinct feeling from the look that Valentino gives you that, like, your reaction is what he wants. He wants to be defended.
Yeah.
But what's everyone else's reaction going to be?
Oh, don't you just wish you had Pendragon?
Yeah, I really wish I had Pendragon personality traits right here. Okay, Leona has her 2 poles of, this is my family, but also I love peace.
Yeah.
So, let's...
I think she would say something about, like, can't we just work this out peacefully?
Yeah,
right?
Okay, so she's on the work things up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
she's like,
on the
you can't just take him, but we can, let's talk about this, and yeah.
And you have
Peaceful
Tremolo.
defeat,
Tremolo is going.
yeah, Tremolo's like, none of this actually matters.
Yeah, the only thing that matters to him is keeping the secret. And
The secret
so
is bigger than us.
he's also shooting desperate looks at Ambrosio, like, maybe you do need to be breaking out in a fight here. Maybe the fight.
Even noticing.
Yeah, well, yeah. But maybe the fight is what defends Segura.
Yeah.
I think Roslyn would step up to defend with you. And,
yeah.
I don't think he's quite at rage point yet.
I'm at bravado rather than I'm not actually wrathful, more just like
Fidelio is definitely
my brother.
Unfortunately, this is Fidelio for you. Fidelio was like, this is not my fight.
Look, a helpful shadow in the back of the cave.
Yeah.
How convenient.
And Stella is just using this opportunity to like faint, and then when no one looks at her, just like getting up like, wow. How dare they?
Wow, she's useless.
She's pretty useless.
Awful.
So
well, are they going to accept my offer, or are they going to accept Leona's offer?
The iron-armored man levels his gauntleted finger at you and says, I'm not talking to you. I'm now Matt Berry, and I am not talking to you.
Yeah? Well, I'm talking to you, punk.
Valentino, perhaps you would like to tell your friend why he should not anger me. Valentino's like, bro, he's a dragon.
Oh, I really wish I had a valorous stat to test on right now. Everything is just better with the dragon.
And
her mum would get better and
actually,
son.
No, mum will now be going like, find a way out of this. Find a way out of this. Do not fight. Just find a way out of this so everyone can live.
Okay. I think the flaming sword wavers at this point anyway. It goes from like, yeah, I'm totally going to fight you, to like, what? Yeah, the sword lowers, and this gives Leona a chance to swoop in.
Yeah, okay, cool. She gonna... I mean, basically, she just... Okay. Sorry, sir. What's going on here? We don't understand what's between you and Valentino.
She rolled persuasion?
Yeah. Oh, actually, persuasion's not great. I wish there was like a wisdom-based negotiation
It's persuasion,
skill.
though.
It's persuasion. Go on.
18.
Hey!
Yay!
And, Caius, for that is his name, lowers his hand and stands a little bit less, aggressively and, I thought that, perhaps you were a, honor guard of his, not that he has any, fleeing with him from my wrath, but, are you all as, clueless about what he has done? And Valentino huffs and he's like, yeah, I haven't told any of them. And Caius is like, ha! Of course you have not publicly told of your shame. Valentino's like, yeah, Caius, like, stop grandstanding.
Ambrogio shoots a look at Valentino. And at this point, like, if someone were to attack him, he's now not actually expecting an attack.
Sure. No, actually, the men behind Caius also sort of starting to stand down a little bit, like...
Yeah. No one actually wants a fight. No one even actually wants to fight anyone.
Not even this dragon wants a fight. Damia's technically good.
Yeah, for the irons, it technically is, though.
And Caius is... Well, are you going to come and answer for your crimes, or do I have to come in there and arrest you and take you back to Mataro? And Valentino...
I think Leona now will ask, what crimes are these?
This
What
man
crimes are these?
has
No, this is not.
this man, Caius starts to grandstand again, has besmirched the honor of my sister, Gioia Renata Ferissimo. I, Caius Sanguinus Ferissimo, have come to see that he faces justice. And what is punishment?
Yeah, me too.
What is the punishment for his
And
crime?
Ruslan looks and says, "Is that it?"
What do you mean, is that it? He must marry my sister and father his child. That is his punishment.
We all start sniggering.
And Valentino just goes beet red.
Wow. Looks like I don't have to find your girlfriend after all, eh?
Shut up. And Valentino's like, I don't want to get married. I want to go off and have adventures. And Caius goes, ha ha ha! You fool!
And Ruslan says, sounds like you've already had some adventures, son.
Caius goes, you idiot child. You must simply service your wife at regular intervals and you can go on as many adventures as you like. What do you think I do?
Oh,
You must simply do things the proper way.
wow.
Get married in order to restore my sister's honor. Do the right thing as a husband. And sure, go off adventuring. I'm sure she wouldn't really care if you died in battle, to be perfectly honest.
Dude. You got it on with the dragon?
Shut up! I didn't know!
Dang.
Oh, God. And I think with these terms, because Valentino didn't understand that he would still sort of have his freedom.
Yeah.
Valentino now offers the party a choice. He says, I'm happy to go down and suffer alone and prepare for my funeral / wedding, which you're probably all invited for, and you could come with me if you want, but then again, you might sort of want to go and see an awesome city that I'm now going to miss out on, because I couldn't keep it in my pants. Oh no, don't worry, don't worry about her. Don't worry about her, sweetie.
I'm sure we'll meet her soon enough.
Yeah. The GM's request is that you guys continue to escort Tremolo and let Valentino.
Oh, I already know I've already made up my decision.
Sure.
Right, like before you even said that, I know what my decision is here.
You can still be there for the wedding, but he has to go down and prepare for the wedding.
Bingo. That was exactly it. Is we will finish escorting Tremolo, and then once we're done, we'll go down, because there's no way this wedding's happening straight away. Also, my instant headcanon when I found out what was going on here, that it was a dragon, my instant headcanon is that she started it.
Of course. She's a dragon.
Yeah.
She is the one who pursued him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably would have pursued her until he realized, oh my god, she's a dragon, and then she would have continued the pursuit.
Yeah.
And you know, this whole thing about the besmirching the honor. She doesn't give a stuff.
No.
But this is very much the patriarchal brother of hers insists that, you know, they have to do things the proper way. Right.
To a human, that's pretty, like... That's low.
Yeah.
Then again, some of the dragons are more. Like,
there would have been plenty of other types of dragons who would just be like, oh yeah, you're having a half draconic child, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? You're a dragon. You don't have to get married. The irons are a little bit more like status.
Yeah, because they are right at the bottom of that. status chain.
Yeah. So they're like sort of officious, but without the niceness of, well, I say the niceness. They've got the officiousness of the bronzes without the nice returns that the bronzes have.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
No, you're a. Adriana was a brass.
Brass.
Yeah, brasses are way cooler than irons.
Yeah.
Irons are lame.
yeah.
Yeah.
This will be the first appearance of an Iron Dragon, actually.
Yes, it is and I purposefully chose the lamest of the metallic dragons to be pregnant Valentino.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are. So the irons, just for a bit of background for you, Kiwi Taniwha, are they're mercenaries, and they have a rival city that they're always like
the oranges
in Perusi. So Mataro and Perusi, they're basically like the same region, even though they're two separate cities, and they're always like they hate each other. They basically occupy the same state.
So whenever one of them hires on for a war, the other one will go and offer their service to the other side.
Oh, so where were they in Bronze versus Silver? It would have been iron and the
no, they would have been neutral.
Oh, right. Oh,
because the silver would have contracts with other people, and the bronze don't hire mercenaries.
True. Okay, so yeah. That's it.
On the other hand, they probably, when it comes to red versus bronze, which is like looming in the horizon, they probably will hire on for that one.
True.
If they are not busy dealing with the greens,
who are to the south of them. So that's a weak spot of theirs.
And the Iron Dragons are like, they are cultured, intelligent patrons of the art, warrior, poet, princes, who also get up to torture and massacres and all that sort of stuff on the side. Whereas the Orange Dragons are brutal torturers and cruel tyrants who are also noble patrons of the art on the side. They're very much
much like, in some ways they're like peak Renaissance princes. They're just so petty.
There's a specific two guys from history that they are directly modelled on, and I really need to read their book at some point.
Just like they're actually like they're assholes, but also people who wrote about them like at the time had to sort of laud them. And,
Though the guy that the Orange Dragons is based on, I believe his last name is Malatesta.
That guy. Yeah.
Is the guy who got canonized to hell. He got declared a saint of hell while he was still alive.
He sexually assault someone?
The Pope's emissary.
The Pope's emissary in front of the army to be allegedly to be like, this is what I care for the Pope's word.
Yes, allegedly.
Yeah, like
which may or may not be true. I don't know. But
so that's how much of an awful guy.
So he was an awful person, but he was also a great patron and a scholar and an artist and all of these.
Such a Renaissance
as opposed to his rival up the hill, who was a great scholar and an artist and all of these things, and he also did some atrocities, but we don't talk about that.
This is classic Renaissance princes, like.
I kind of love these guys.
And in his training, Valentino got all caught up in this, and he got swept away. With a draconic romance. And he is now going away for his wedding. He asks you to come and be his best man on the day of his funeral, wedding. And he hugs you goodbye. He hands over to you the paperwork for the Donaldo house. Like, keep this safe for me. I don't know if I'll be back. And he's semi-serious while he says this. And,
if I don't realise this, Leona will later when I talk to her about it. So this is the paperwork for the abandoned, half-demolished house that has not been notarized to being handed over to me, who does not have a signet ring, and is not a blood relative. Like, these papers are worthless.
But he still... If anything, he wants you to keep them safe from his new wife getting them. So in a way, you're maybe like a steward for him. Fidelio is all smirks. Stella is just wide-eyed bewilderment, and Tremolo is, like his name, trembling, like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God this resolved happily. And they're not asking any questions about what we're doing up in the mountains, because
Running away, clearly.
yeah, clearly we were running away from marital duty. Okay, that's totally what we were doing.
Yeah.
I'm a gnome illusionist. I was supposed to hide him from your gaze, but oh no, I didn't realize he was tracking you with what none of the magic users could sense, which was he had a little keepsake from his paramour on a chain around his neck, and the brother was able to track him through that.
Yeah.
But too bad. Valentino has now been removed. Your most effective party member.
Yeah. See, part of the reason why I don't want to stop the campaign just yet is because I want to get one more level up so that Ambrosio suddenly turns into an absolute combat monster.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I just have to not stand on the front line. I have to be just back a bit.
So since you didn't break into a fight, I've actually only got like a little bit more material for tonight, which is good. We probably need to have an early night. But
we are slightly exhausted. Yeah. Slightly extremely exhausted.
So
also I can see what's in that box.
Nice. You know what? We will come up with. We'll co-create what Tremolo's technique is in a bit. But anyway,
I'm keen to get to the good.
Yeah, you're going to.
Yeah, because I've imagined this place, but I haven't actually described it or anything. Yeah. So all I know is.
Well, I have some ideas, and you can expound upon them.
I imagine that first we will find the ruins of the.
Yeah.
Or some. Well, wait, I don't know. Maybe not actually.
Yeah.
At some point, I feel like we'll go up and see the ruins, even if it's just like.
Yeah, maybe on the tour sort of thing. Yeah, a lot. I'm gonna do a lot of like time hand wavy stuff for this section. Okay. So,
this really is going to wind up being the most like the furthest in the timeline.
Yeah. You'll spend at least a week there, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe
we've got to leave before the winter starts.
You've got to leave before winter, and you've got to get down to the wedding. Because if she's pregnant and it's been like 3 months, that wedding needs to happen relatively soon.
Yeah, shotgun.
Yeah.
Then again, like if she turns back into a dragon, will she lay eggs?
I suppose that depends on whether she turns back or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a little bit traditionalist about it. It's like if you conceived in human form, then you must stay in human form for your whole conception.
Then again, if they're like, oh, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Dragon reproductive habits.
Yeah. It's all a bit silly, really.
It is a little bit silly.
Maybe that was how she knew she was pregnant. She lost the ability to transform.
Because that couldn't be good for the baby, could it?
No, yeah. So maybe that was like the first sign that she was pregnant,
right?
Because then he could run away really super early in the.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I kind of like that actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
she got stuck in human form because she done got fertilized. Okay.
Which does mean that the children will be dragon touched rather than dragons. But then I doubt he would be able to father dragons.
Yeah, no. This was always going to be a half situation. Okay, so
anyway,
we are now third day.
Yeah,
and after doing a few more triangulations,
the winds are
and
truly better up here.
Yeah, Tremolo guides you into the narrow V of the end of a valley, where dark rocks peek through the caked on snow on the sides of the cliffs. And it just seems to get darker and darker and darker until you realize you're not walking towards stone, you're walking towards the start of a tunnel. And the tunnel would be dark, but for Mumsword, shining light to guide. And so you get to be in front next to Tremolo. And Stella Rosa.
Suddenly I want to build the prop into this so it's got like a flick a switch and then
Stella Rosa is whining about being, underground and I hate it. And Rosalind's just being cautious
I don't
and
think
careful.
I'm quite up to telling her to can it and
Yeah, maybe don't tell
check
them
herself
after
before
that.
she wrecks herself. But
You're going to be rid of her very shortly.
But we're close.
She's going to be a refugee in
Yeah.
Zagura, and I can pretty much guarantee you now, even if she did ask you guys to escort her out of here, you would find a way to weasel out of it, because, yeah, she's been a pain. But I'm sure her skills will come in useful in New Zagura. Fidelio and Leona are like, they get a sort of, you know, when Nim's going through somewhere narrow, they get a sort of look on their faces like, slink, slink, slink. Like they're thinking slinky. And you're walking through, and you just... Tremolo, every now and again, will stop you with a gentle tap on your unarmed hand and say... And the path ahead of you looked completely normal, and you don't know why it was suddenly so urgent that he stopped you and turned you, but it's like, if you didn't have a gnomish guide down here, you never would have stopped at that particular point and turned.
Yeah.
And, everything sort of looks the same, and thinking and slinking.
I was trying that too, and you get like slinking.
Slinking.
Or sinking. Which is not so good.
Sinking feeling. Right. And
slinking.
and then suddenly, without really a warning, it must be some sort of illusion magic, light and the walls are suddenly humongous, and you are in the giant cavern, or rather you're in a giant cavern that has like sort of lattice-like, humongous lattice-like windows looking through to an even bigger cavern, where, is that the sun?
What?
And you can see through that huge cavern on the other side and around other lattices which lead to other huge caverns. This is a humongous underground city, and it's beautiful.
Huh.
It's
How is it beautiful?
crafted by smiths, masons. Stella Rosa has finally stopped bitching, because this is what she was born to see. This is a work of art.
I'm kind of imagining like crystals as well.
Yeah. Crystals, the lights, and the stone. So these caverns will most certainly, and you know, Tremolo can sort of narrate. Though his narration, he's not a very good tour guide because he sort of mumbles and he's very vague about things. But basically, there's the large central cavern, and then caverns all around it, sort of like petals on a flower. And the way that the mountain above doesn't just fall in on you is what these lattice-like things are. Is it's basically the stone that they like perfectly mathematically worked out the structure to keep the stone all supporting the roofs of the caverns, but give as much room for light to come through.
Yeah.
And as you walk in further, and you know, and there are gnomes.
Clever things with like refraction and stuff.
Well,
you could get a little chink of light could spread.
Yes, and that's what you notice with crystals and mirror surfaces and stuff. Whatever that massive sun that you think is the sun that you can see, all the light that's around, it is very much being amplified by a whole lot of crystals and mirrors and stuff up in sort of nooks in the caverns.
Oh, that's really cool.
And all around,
they'll all be interesting colours too.
Yeah. Although, so you can see the colours in the individual parts, but then, like, the light from all of the colours is so much that it becomes white light again by the time it hits the ground.
But there'll be individual
it's so
bits
diffracted. And then, like, once you sort of get far enough in to see the top of the central cavern, it is actually, you can see that there's a giant mirror there. And Tremolo says that there is a very narrow tunnel, basically a peephole to the sun.
Yeah.
That is actually sending it through with mirrors and stuff. So it is actually the sun that you're seeing right there, just being...
That is awesome. I want to see how artists do that.
Yeah. And then at night there's sconces for fire to do the same thing, but obviously at a much lesser magnitude.
Yeah.
And there's also in the central cavern, which, like, it's so huge, you're nowhere near the center of this place, right? You're still very much in the mini cavern that you currently came in on. But in the middle, you can see a great orrery of the three moons.
Oh.
So even though those are a little bit too flighty to be able to catch, like the sun's being caught, the gnomes can still track their movements by seeing this beautiful gem lit orrery every single day. And people are coming out and going,
oh yeah, because another Swiss thing is clockmaking.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's a giant mechanical clock,
and that is not the only mechanical thing you see around. You see a lot of like Rube Goldberg machine type things around, which you have like no idea what they do, but then you see them like carrying trays of food and like tools and raw materials, and like you see this is a very automated town, but at the same time, as automated as it is, it looks like everyone who's not a child or the elderly is working.
Yeah.
Steadily tapping away at something, tinkering, and then you see, groups of elders teaching the children, and there's a lot of like very hands-on things that the elders are teaching the children, like whittling, though they're like whittling soft rock rather than wood.
Yeah.
What
do you use to all those? They have like a little hammer and chisel,
yeah.
Or they have like a rock knife.
It's sort of like a rock knife, though it's more like a rock. I wouldn't know how to describe this tool, but it's like a tooth, like a canine. Dock, dock, dock. Yeah, like the end of a pencil.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And then, you see new housing going up, where they're, cutting rock out of the side of one of the caverns and then transporting it in to build it into nice, very uniform. They seem to be very much about just in general, most of the gnomes here seem to be very much about all their little clockwork machines, but their houses are pretty like uniform looking squarish blocks. You have to
limited them.
You have to keep things pretty standard as well if you want all your little trains with foods and stuff to keep, you don't want to, you want your roads to be pretty straight and everything to be pretty orderly if you want things to move smoothly. I'm just imagining those sorts of like the giant clockwork statues you get at the top of a clock tower. The ones that like come out and then go boom and go back in. The thing. Like that, but on like this grand scale. The thing is, the machinery is all very ornate and whimsical like that.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like just a boring like little train cart going down the thing, it's like animal shapes.
Yeah.
Like a cow has a milk jug on its back. and the cow, the little like metallic cow blinks, and
one of my favourite things in all of D&D now. This is one of my favourite places.
I have always been in love with Nilzagura ever since you told me about it. And so you what is it? Where does the sound even come from? It's mechanical, like it doesn't seem magical, it's just purely mechanical. And am I missing any details? Great indoor sun. Yep, I've got that. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I love so much. I can tell you're inspired.
There doesn't really seem to be any sort of central bureaucracy. This is a little bit of this is hilarious and I hate it. It's a little bit of a libertarian paradise.
I had a feeling.
But at the same time, the reason why it works for the gnomes is that they seem to have agreed that their roads should be straight and their houses should all be uniform so that their machines can do whatever the heck they want. So there's no like central bureaucracy to report to on the outer caverns there, but in the middle cavern there is a little bit of like I guess like a chamber of commerce, a sort of like council.
Town council.
But they don't need to hear about you. Tremolo is not going to bother them with you. People are a little bit like, some visitors, like keep the secret, but they all seem to be maybe slightly naively trusting
Are our
that
minds
you
going
will.
to get magically wiped as we leave?
Um,
There are no gnomes in New Zagura.
yeah. Okay. I'll make a sort of statement now, but maybe we can backtrack on it later.
Yeah.
While they are socializing with you while you're here and stuff, there would definitely be a few gnomes that are like
Sussing us out.
sussing you out.
Yeah.
And some people they might trust and they might introduce to some people and maybe indoctrinate them a little bit into like humanist causes and you know, and for the betterment of the entire human race. But some people, like perhaps Fidelio, might get sussed out and might get invited to partake of a cocktail and find himself winding up in Fiamense weeks later by some magic. I don't know yet. I don't know how Fidelio is going to act. Perhaps with enough monetary incentive, he wouldn't tell the secret, but who knows?
But then, like, the dragons could afford to outbid the gnomes pretty.
Absolutely, yeah. So
surely they've got some sort of mind whammy thing.
Yeah. So Fidelio is probably going to get mind whammied. Yeah. Though with Leona carefully watching this happening, will that happen? I don't know. It all depends. We'll see. So with no central bureaucracy, Tremolo just takes you straight to his home. Which, because he's a master smith, he's able to afford quite a large home where he invites you all to stay, and he...
Here's an important question. What do they do for ventilation?
They would have sorted it out.
Vents or something.
Yeah, some sort of vents, and they would have...
Actually, they might even have, like, a separate smithing cavern. With, like, I bet they've got, like, natural gases or something, which sort of naturally vent air out.
And also, you know, there's a lot of...
I also like the idea of just the natural caverns with, like, the air gushing out from underground.
His home...
And then they can use that to power things as well.
Yeah, his home is in one of the, like, residential districts, but there are, like, the smithies are sort of built into the cavern walls so that they can have...
Yeah.
I think what they would have... Oh, yeah. We'd have to think carefully about this, because all that industry going on, it's a lot of, like, smoke and stuff.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to send that straight up into the sky.
No.
They need to, like, vent it into a volcano or something. Because they wouldn't vent it into, like, an underground lake, because then they pollute the lake, which would be unfortunate.
And it's their lake, so they kill their own drinking water.
That's something for us to think about.
Yeah, they'll have figured something clever out.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Suddenly I have this image of, like, this never-ending conveyor belt of little upside-down glass jars, and each one goes pop, and then fills with smoke, and then pop, and then they rush the smoke off, and they, like, evacuate it all bottle by bottle.
Wrong. You're not.
That would be horrifically impractical.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's like a giant, like, Ouroboros pipe that goes around and around and vents somewhere.
I don't know.
Anyway, so you are invited to stay in his house, and you...
I've got it.
What? How does it happen?
It's the legend. So when the gnomes destroyed their white dragon, they then declared that their city would be free. Zagura would be free. God. And then and they sent emissaries out to the other city-states and said this to everybody, right?
You're going to say what I think you're going to say?
I think so.
The still smouldering ruins.
The still smouldering ruins. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They have vented it all
into the ruins.
Still smouldering ruins of old Zagura. Yeah.
And so anybody who goes past is like, dang.
Still smoldering.
Do not anger dragons.
Yeah.
The ruins are still smoldering after all this time.
Perfect.
And you know where I got that idea from? Of the battle that was so fierce that it's still smoking? It's from Gloria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a battleground where they burnt the place afterwards, and there were so many that they're still burning.
Oh, God.
Which is so Glorantha.
Oh, that's very Glorantha. Yeah.
It is.
I love this.
Yeah,
This is such a funny idea.
It's so perfect, right?
Yeah. Oh.
And everybody be like, "Oh, dragon breath, yeah."
It's so perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Lovely detail.
I think we've gotten inspired by
I told you, Gnomes of Zurich is one of my favourite things, and it's such a shame we're going to be here for such a short time in this game.
I'm so tempted
I love it.
to say, like, and now
And
that
then
we're
we
arrived at the
retire.
end, and the next session is just Gnomes of Zurich, the session.
No. Because basically there would be no conflict, and it would just be like
Monsters in the mountain.
Come on,
It'd just be
fun.
fine. It isn't excuses.
Yeah. And basically, this is like Rivendell, and it's a short little moment.
Yeah, we stop off.
Yeah,
we
it's
get our swords identified.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, totally. Like you could get a bunch of free stuff here.
Somebody reads the moon runes on our map.
I won't. I'm not gonna stop for it now.
But we can upgrade our equipment.
Between sessions, can you upgrade your equipment, please?
Cool.
And you can even, if you want, take some wedding presents of upgrades for Valentino.
Sure. Now, I'm imagining, can we get our hands on the good stuff here?
Sure.
Given that we're now level 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And the gnomes are like happy to,
Because like, for all the armors, there's like the one that is the good thing that costs wildly more than everything else. So I think it's like breastplates.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can have the best stuff here.
Cool.
And I mean, I even wonder like
it's the best stuff.
Probably just get them given to you, honestly.
Sure.
Like everyone's just pretty happy here, and like they can't export any of their goods, can they?
No.
Because they're completely secret.
Well,
so
actually,
they stockpiling.
They do have an export service.
Yeah.
Which is Gnomish mercenaries.
Right.
So there's just like one battalion of them who are still serving, and what they don't know is that they are just spying, and like the expatriate community is sending their money back.
Absolutely. But they do have a large stockpile of stuff that they can't...
Stockpiling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's not hint. It's obvious. They are stockpiling, and they say this outright to you guys, like, we're stockpiling to supply the humanists. Who are the humanists? Says Ambrosio, and gets a whole lot of exposition
a bunch
about...
of intellectuals who got owned in Milano.
And obviously, Stella Rosa would have told you a little bit about them because she was one herself. Not that she was a very good one, but
she probably wasn't part of the smoking crew that got
No, not part of that. Like, she was housing Tremolo, and so that's how she was a contact.
Yeah.
She was sort of in the Smith's ring of
the human resistance to the dragons. And
so this is you finally learning about them.
So some bonus setting information from the guide, which is part of why we love this place so much. The gnomes deliberately got their city nuked by the dragons as a ploy. They had the spare city set up already before they put the whole plan into action, after they figured out how to kill their dragon. Their next plan, the white dragons in the mountains are kind of dispersed. They're all spread out. So the next plan is they're getting ready. They are building tunnels. They are being very careful about this. They're gathering information, building contacts.
They're way nicer than District 13.
One night, and it could be years from now, every single white dragon is going to get simultaneously assassinated. White dragons are massive apex super predators. The gnomes are tiny little smart guys. White dragons are kind of stuffed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna red wedding those white dragons.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I sort of feel like something's gonna go wrong with the gnome plan in the long run, and I sort of know what it might be, but if nothing were to go wrong in potentially a future game, then the white dragons are stuffed.
That's a campaign right there, right?
I think that is a campaign right there.
Ooh. Okay, so
I have so many campaign bits and pieces.
I can't wait to write them with you.
Yee. We're so cloying.
Right, let's finish this session.
Yes, let's finish this session.
This is starting. So yeah, you get a lot of free stuff, but I'll let you level that up in between sessions.
Cool.
And they tell you about the humanists, and they're very open about everything they're doing and how they did it and everything. Just so long as, just keep the secret. The ones who are being very obvious say, and the ones who are being surreptitious just smile and nod and watch for your reactions. They watch your reaction to make sure you're...
You know what? I think this is where Ambrosio, he's now seen enough that he can see, his runs with dragons, he's actually met one now, sort of. Doesn't really
Caius Sanguinus Verissimo.
Yeah. Jeez, what a try-hard name.
Iron.
Dragon. But, yeah, the whole bronze versus silver thing, I know that at Armageddon we were going, who do you support? The, unification and unity of the bronze, or the beauty and individualism of the silvers? What if your actual thing was, who do I not support? The fascism of the bronze versus the hypocrisy of the silvers. What if your reaction, instead of picking a side, was to go, they're both awful in their own ways?
And to actually start planning how to overthrow him. And that's exactly what these guys are doing.
I think Ambrosio, when he gets told the sales pitch, he listens to their arguments. Also, anyone gives him a good argument, he's going to buy it.
Cool.
He's going to get radicalized.
Yeah. I think Leona and Rosalind are right there with you.
Yeah. And, tell me more.
Cool.
And I think,
I think they will supply you with some contacts. For future cities, which I will come up with when relevant, because I don't have them on me now.
But next time we're going to Mataro.
Yeah, okay, well, in that case, they will tell you... That was him running out of the room.
Running up the stairs and breakneck speed.
They will tell you the contact from Mataro. And actually, no, what they do is they confirm the smith there is a humanist.
Right.
They have it's like the stonemasons. The smiths are sort of like the secret humanist trade.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Right, okay, so they probably worked on
so that's the real reason you travel from city to city. It's not to pick up the secrets, it's to pick up the secrets.
Yeah, I've sort of been waiting for that to drop this whole time.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool.
The real mission is to join the humanists and do humanist things.
Yeah. And now you're finally 5 sessions in at the
actually understand what my plot is.
Although there's still, there's all of the plot with all of the members of her family, which, you've obviously advanced Valentino and you've advanced Ruslan.
Yeah. We got a tiny bit of Leona too.
So, you're making friends with a bunch of gnomes. I don't have names for any of these gnomes, sorry, but you're making friends, and
I'm currently thinking gnomes might have German names, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And what do you learn from Tremolo? Because you're going to learn his master secret, which will be, I don't know, is it moving parts or something?
Yeah, it is. Surely it's going to be something about clockwork.
Yeah, it could be, or at least hinges. Like a
sword,
like a Final Fantasy sword that goes. No.
I doubt he's got time to teach me the really.
No. But the thing that he teaches to journeymen, especially the thing that he teaches to journeymen who aren't gnomes, all the gnomish stuff, it's that you need years and years of study. But there'll be something that
it is going to be about the basics of clockwork.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So you learn a little bit about that. You could probably make a rudimentary clock if you had fine enough jeweler's tools now to make one. And was that a pun?
Actually, no.
But yeah, you could make a rudimentary clock now. Whatever sort of application this has towards your main smithing, which is weaponry and stuff, you have no idea. Does a horse need a watch? Probably not.
What's a watch? I mean, like, these things are cool, but you can never make them small
Exactly.
enough to be like.
So
little...
you're maybe feeling a little bit like, this is cool and all, but like, when am I ever going to use this? Whereas Leona is a little bit like, if I
Oh, well, also Leona actually has the right tools to be able to do this, whereas for me, this might just be a bit like, that's nice, whatever.
Yeah.
Just doesn't quite click for me.
She's got slightly better dex than you, so she's a little bit more nimble at the smaller work.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's going to be the thing where some of these techniques are going to appeal more to one of us than the other.
Absolutely, yeah.
Leona's technique.
Yeah. But can you put this on your passport?
No.
You can't. Oh no.
Oh, actually, no, you can. You just be like,
I learned it somewhere else.
Expatriates.
Yeah. True. I don't think every master would say that was a legit thing, but like, well, then again, the humanist masters would go, oh yes. And the other ones would be like, what even is this? Expat gnomes, for sure.
Everyone knows that there are gnomes living in local communities.
Yeah, but whether it counts as like actual legit master on your passport.
I think if you can demonstrate the...
Sure, they might.
Because that's the real thing, is like, if I can demonstrate that I can do it.
But then there would be a few smiths who would be like, and the practical application of this is... especially like the more war-oriented ones. But anyway, I'll stop rubbishing the awesome gnomish work, shall I?
Yes.
Okay.
You do it. Cheers.
So.
It's interesting. Normally I find gnomes so like flavourless, and who even are gnomes? And these gnomes are just like crazy awesome gnomes.
Oh, I love these gnomes. I've been dying to get to New Zagura, and I'm so excited for us one day writing the New Zagura
guide
and campaign. Okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm now coming to the final scene, so we'll wrap after this. Is there anything you want to do before we do this part?
Like I said, we go out and we do some sightseeing, and we see the still smoking ruins.
Yeah, totally. You see the smoking ruins of what looked once like a great city on the same scale, but outside.
Yeah.
And, there probably are a few, like, elderly gnomes there doing a whaley, like, keeping up the guise of, like, this is a pilgrimage site.
I now imagine them sort of doing, like, the pilgrimage to Mecca.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, once in your life you come here. And
Yeah, or the pilgrimage to Jerusalem sort of thing. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Keeping up the guise of, and greeting the new visitors and then showing them secret routes. And
actually, there probably is a tiny little sort of shanty town that's popped up next to
it. Totally. Yeah. But it would have to be tiny so as not to get the wrath of the
actually, it wouldn't be right next to it. It would be like a little way out,
a little
way out. And it would just be just enough of like, this is where you can stay.
Mm-hmm. And Leona uses her new clockwork things to make... She totally does. Leona's...
Nice to taste.
No. Leona makes a wedding present for Valentino and Gioia, Renata, Ferrissimo, which is a little clockwork, like Fabergé dragon egg that open and there's a little baby inside.
Cute, but also awful.
Yeah, I know, right? Do you want to make a wedding present for them?
Yeah.
It can be cute and ornamental, or it could be something a bit more...
Yeah, do you want me to roll for it? Or?
Nah, you've got, like, time.
I've got the time to do it properly. There's no time for it.
What sort of thing are you doing something practical or something cute? Or...
I think it's something cute. Okay. I think what it is it's a little, like, knight on a horse with a sword out, and you wind him out, and then he, like, it's got little wheels, and he goes forward, and maybe his sword goes
cute.
as he charges along. Like those little sort of wind up cars that you get.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Is it child appropriate?
Yeah.
Could the baby play with it?
Yeah, actually, if you just change the material, metal's fine.
So long as it's not
no
sharp
edges, fine.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That little pull along knight.
Yeah.
That is adorable. I love it. Okay. is that everything you guys want to do?
I think that's everything we want
Okay.
to do.
You've made friends.
Yeah, we've been
And
indoctrinated into the cause.
Yeah, and you've actually become a little bit of a talk of the town. And
Yeah.
the central committee, Chamber of Commerce, we need to
Yeah.
come up with a name for them, but like the elder gnomes in the centre of the city want to...
The elders of the internet.
the elders of the internet want to invite you and Leona and Rosalind and of course Tremolo and Stella Rosa. And I guess Fidelio can come along. It doesn't matter because we're going to mind wipe him anyway, so whatever. Unless, I don't know, unless he stays and becomes a citizen. But, you know, it's Fidelio. He probably would. Invite you to come to the central cavern, to the very centre of town where you've been looking this whole time and gone, oh, wow, that's like really far away. And like, why don't we go there? And then you've seen there's like gates all around and stuff. And there's like this. If Leona's gone there, she will have cast Detect Magic and found there is an intense force field there that rises up like in a big sort of sphere, but then it points like a cone right up at the end towards the sun hole.
Interesting.
So she can tell it's definitely abjuration magic, so like protection, F-off vibes, but what for? I'm sure you can imagine.
I have a couple of ideas.
Sure.
One is practical and one is fantastical.
Oh, go on, I want to hear.
The practical one is, does heat move through a wall of force naturally, or would the wall of force maintain, like, can air move through a wall of force easily? Because if not,
I imagine
what you could do with careful funneling is you could create an area where the air inside is super hot. And it would basically act like a giant insulator.
A laser?
No, it'd be an insulator. Like, it would warm the town. It'd be like having a giant heater.
You know what? Maybe it
does
that too.
But my other answer is that there's something inside there.
Oh, sure.
Like a dragon.
No. I wish it were. I mean, okay, maybe we can invent this later.
That would be pretty monstrous. So if it was a hot chamber and you put white dragons in it. Then again.
What you learn when you rock up to enter the gates on the night that you've been invited to dinner is that it's an anti-dragon field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So should the city be discovered and the mountainside be clawed open, like it's pretty thick, but still like dragons. All of the citizens are to, if they can make it to the middle, retreat into the central city to the keep.
Oh god, yeah, I know what it is. I've got my other concept.
Yeah. What?
It's Archimedes' death lasers.
Sure. Yeah, oh, right. He came up with a way to do lasers.
Yeah,
right?
like this is like a apocryphal thing where Mythbusters tried it and they said it doesn't work, but then they tried it again and they said actually, if the ships were coated with tar to...
That's right. Yeah.
So it's giant refraction mirrors and stuff that channel the sun.
To set ships on fire.
To set ships on fire remotely, and it's effectively he made death lasers.
Okay, so it's a potential use for it. Look,
another.
These are gnomes. They would have multi-purpose. Yeah. Okay.
Claire, are you saying that this thing, what it actually is a Swiss Army knife?
Yes.
So a gnomish city.
I'm not even
Insulation.
I'm not even done, James. I'm not even done, okay? So
this is by far the most high fantasy thing.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not even done yet. So so there you go. You've got your and Tremolo is finally explaining this thing, which Leona was like, "What's going on with this?" And now she's like, "Whoa!" And then she's like, "But how do you power this?" And Tremolo says,
"Oh God."
Oh, dead angels. Well, you see, angels, angels don't really die as such. Like, you can't really, kill an angel because they're immortal, but, you can render one basically dead. And so, from the war of the host and everything, there were some very minor angels, you must understand, some very minor angelic hosts body parts left around. And as you arrive at the gates, you see what he's talking about at the center of this, at the bottom of the circle, at a few key
Kiwi
points.
25's having the same reaction as I am. Holy.
At the cardinal directions, there's a large gate where people can enter the thing until, obviously they are collapsible. So if the dragons are invading, you can collapse the anti-dragon field completely, shutting off all entrances if needed. But at the top of the metal gateway is like an amputated, like no legs, no arms, Modron. A giant eye, a single giant eye, looking down, scanning everything around.
What?
Modrons that fought on the side of the angels. So, like, beings of pure law.
What?
Not that they call them Modrons, or maybe they do. The gnomes surely have, like, tomes written about this. The Madroni, yeah. I am Madroni.
The all-American Modron.
No, don't think Sauron. Think, have we got a book with the Modrons in it? Are they in here?
They're in there.
I'll show you, Lauren. I hope the exact one I'm thinking of is there. Yeah, it's that one. But in the War of the Host, it's limbs got cut off. I know. That circular one with the eye. So in the War of the Host, its arms and its legs and stuff were all cut off, and so its body was just there, and who knows how much sentience is still there. But like the essential character of its magic remains. So it's like sort of alive, and it can be used for purposes of law, and it is there powering this gate and a quarter of the field. And you can assume that there are more like dormant Modrons, repurposed Modrons at each.
And that's why the gnomes came to live here. At the beginning of time. That's why the gnomes live here.
Right. Because they found what? What are you saying?
Because bonus story for people who don't know.
It's horrifying.
It is horrifying.
But at the same time, I don't know. The gnomes are like the ultimate. Well, except the goblins. The gnomes are recyclers.
Yeah. So the gnomes are also.
Hang on, Lauren. Modrons aren't like sentient creatures, really. It's a grey line.
They've got levels and Anyway,
they're basically like computer programs, walking computer programs.
During the War of the Host, the gnomes were full-on spiritual beings. They were minor angelic powers themselves, who found they.
Oh, were they angelic rather than fae?
Oh well, at that point, there was.
Everyone was angelic.
Everything was angelic. They were figuring it all out. And
you can't play a Modron.
So, in the next book, there are, I think, Modron warlocks or Modron sorcerers. Sorcerers.
That makes sense. Sure.
Anyway, so the gnomes were.
They're annoying. Trust me, they're so annoying.
The gnomes.
Have you tried reasoning with a computer program? Sorry,
I'm just going to stop explaining.
Hey, how many times do you talk over me?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. So the gnomes were angelic beings, really minor angelic beings, who, at the end of the war, Il Divino, God, split everyone off into, like, you ones that rebelled, you are going to go to this place. You ones that stayed neutral, you're going to this place. You ones who stayed on my side, you're going this place. And you're all in timeout forever, basically.
Yeah. So
and the gnomes...
angels, fae, and demons.
Yeah, and the gnomes would have been part of the fae, except they managed to rules lawyer reality.
So don't you love the fact that they've got Modron leftover parts now?
Yeah, they managed to rules lawyer reality into quitting being spiritual beings and make themselves mortal, because that meant they got to stick around in the world where all the cool stuff was. They wanted to be part of the world, and so they figured out, oh, if we are spiritual, we have to leave, so we will renounce our spiritual nature permanently and become mortals. And then they just chose to settle in these really inhospitable mountains for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, but they knew that there were relics from the War of the Host here.
Because they were themselves.
There.
They were there. Maybe they were the ones who decapitated them and took them apart in the first place.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Or, like, maybe they were the ones who made them in the first place.
They were neutral. They were the neutrals. So I think they might have just,
But, like, because of their origin, they know stuff. They were knowledge spirits. Their specific thing was, we just want to know things. We want to find everything out. And now they're still like, we are obsessed with knowledge, finding out stuff. How do things work? And
so they know that modrons are programmable. Yeah. Because modrons are programs.
Yeah.
They know that they wound up on the angelic side for what it's worth. Because they're law. They're not good, but they're law.
Yeah. I'm imagining, rather than the split being like, normally it's like good, neutral, evil. I'm imagining it being sort of diagonal like that, of like lawful good versus chaotic evil, and like lawful evil and chaotic good and true neutral are fairies.
But lawful neutral stuck with lawful good because it's lawful.
Yeah, lawful and neutral. God is lawful neutral and neutral good, and lawful good all were the angels, and then chaotic good and true neutral and lawful evil are fairies, because lawful evil fairies, and then chaotic neutral. Well, there's some chaotic neutral fairies too.
And there's
chaotic
some
neutral
evil demons as well.
Yeah, chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, and neutral evil are the demons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's on diagonal teams rather than straight teams.
Yeah. So the modrons were angelic, but
Yeah.
So these are leftover.
The exact nature of what modrons are and how they work and so on is something we've never.
In fact, this is the first time the modrons have shown up in Tirenia.
And I doubt I will ever talk about them again. Really.
Yeah. No, they firmly belong in gnomic canon because they're so gnomish, right?
Because they power the gnomish canons.
Yeah. Yes. How much of the clockwork around here is powered by the bodies of dead modrons? We'll never know unless it's detailed more in the book.
Or were the gnomes hired by the angels to make a clockwork army?
Girl!
I mean, they were. That's it, isn't it? That's it, right?
And then they've just gone, a little bit on the side for me. Yeah. Make me a little edgy dragon field.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not just stockpiling for the humans, but they're stockpiling for the second coming.
Well, as part of giving
did they stockpile for the first coming?
As part of giving up their spiritual nature, they would have lost the ability to do stuff on that scale.
True.
But they're still very, very clever people, and fake it till you make it, or fake it and then make it, or make fakes of it.
One thing I will give you is that the central keep with the anti-dragon field, it couldn't possibly fit the entire population.
No.
So when they go, it's going to be like a desperate thing of like whoever can get in here, and the rest will probably have to try and escape out through the horrible dark tunnels of the mountains.
That is so cool. I love this gnomes and modron link that was so modroni.
It's like it should have the I at the end from that to be angelic.
I was also thinking that it sounds more Italian.
It does, It's almost like gnomes and modrons should have been together always. You know what I mean? Anyway.
This is that thing we always say about how stuff in Tirenia, just like when we come up with it, it's just like it just clicks. It just feels fresh and it feels organic, and it's like gnomes were fairies who got contracted as engineers to build a clockwork army for the angels during the war, which was the modrons. That all just it just gives new context for everything.
Oh, so the gnomes are also the computer programmers of Tirenia.
They're the spiritual predecessors of the gnomes were celestial computer programmers.
I love it so much.
It's so cool.
Cool.
None of this will ever show up again.
No, we write the white dragon stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
cool.
Tremolo is just mumbling this, blowing all of your minds, but he's just mumbling away. And then,
actually, Michael is a gnome.
Yeah.
He is actually, he's totally like, that's a gnome.
And then Rosalind stops walking towards the gate and he goes, hang on. So anti-dragon field, right, so we can't walk, we could walk through there and Tremolo's going, yes, you walk through there and there's the gates, which, we can collapse down. And the eye and that one is going to watch you as you pass and scan you for any draconic resonance. And Rosalind goes, hold up. Is it going to ruin my sword that was given to me by a dragon? And Tremolo, for the first time, actually looks like interested in something that any of you has said, and like, curious. And go and inspects the item. I think he might have wondered why earlier he didn't. Rosalind didn't ask him to identify his sword.
Right.
Everyone else's stuff has been identified. He's if you've let him, thoroughly examined the mum's sword and said, "Oh, very mysterious spirit." I don't know a lot about elementals. And he examines the sword and he goes, black dragon, interesting. No, I don't think the magic on the sword will be affected. You might argue it has some draconic resonance, but it's no. I think you'll be fine. And then Rosalind stops again, and he goes, okay. So the sword's okay. Does that mean I'll be okay? And he goes, do you have powers granted to you by a black dragon? And Rosalind goes, well, I mean, yes, so they might get taken away, sure, but there's something else. I was given a new body after I drowned off the coast of Montemiliano while escaping with a baby. I was able to save the baby from the waves, but I washed up on the beach dead. But I was found by a copper dragon who saw fit to breathe life back into me, but as a changed form. This body you see here, I was not born a dwarf. And through the kindness of this dragon on the island, I was brought back to life so that I could continue to be the defender of this baby that I was looking after. And he's not looking at you at all during this whole... And now you know why Laurentio has not been discovered by the Black Dragons. He is not Laurentio anymore. And now you know why the dwarfs were like,
you're not a dwarf.
You're a fake dwarf.
He is a fake dwarf.
He is a fake dwarf. So all the cultural cues, he didn't know them.
Oh.
He was very much like I feel sometimes as a half Maori person, like not looking right, not being 100% of a culture.
Yeah.
He never fit in with anyone.
Wow.
Because he wasn't a dwarf, and yet everyone who wasn't a dwarf looked at him and went, "You're a dwarf." That
just made that spell so much more monstrous.
I know, right?
Like, before it was like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Little guy got turned into a white dragonborn. Ha, ha, ha. Blinsky and Ravenloft, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that's why he was being mistreated in Fimense, because everyone was like, fake. Like, you're trying to just be like a human dwarf. You're a fake dwarf. No.
Also, there's so many things just got dropped in that.
Yeah, so he fled and somehow...
He fled Montemiliano.
No, he fled you can assume he fled from
to
Climbiopoli,
Montego
and then
Emiliano.
maybe he was in a little ship or a little boat or something. He can go into. Well, okay, I'll just tell you now. He'll go into the details later. But it's like, you were on a ship in shipwreck, and he was, saving you in a very Titanic sort of way, and he drowned.
Yeah, there was only enough space on the log for one person.
Well, you were a baby, and so he had you in a little floating basket, but he drowned. But then you both washed up on the coast of the island, and the dragon, who I will not go into because you are hopefully going to meet this dragon. So I'm not going to spoil anything about this dragon's personality, because this is another thing that I've had in my head, like New Zagura, this is another thing I've had in my head for ages. And I just, we're going to get there.
Because the other thing that implies, the ultimate miracle of the church is bringing the dead back to life. And you were telling me that there is a dragon who is a saint.
There is a reason why. We will get there.
Yeah.
We will get there.
Like, hot damn, Mataro is now just pit stop for the wedding, and then get in the car, boy. We're going to Montego Emiliano.
But the copper dragon, through whatever, speaking to dead or whatever, realized, that Rosalind or Laurentio needed to be there to carry you, to protect you. And so he's asking, will my body die again if I go through this field? And Tremolo goes, no.
How does he know?
No. I don't think so. He sort of inspects Rosalind and goes, I mean, if you want to...
It sounds like one of those completely unique interactions when no one should actually know what happened.
Well, I mean, he does a little bit of an inspection and stuff. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. You're not a construct. You're a living being. I don't know what it means either, but I think you'll be fine. Have a bit of faith. And Rosalind takes a deep breath and steps through, and he's fine. And he's just fine. All right.
Leona, meanwhile, is probably just like...
Yeah, actually, and she mutters next to you, like, copper dragon. What do I know about a copper dragon? Would you like to step through?
Yeah, I'll step through now.
You're fine. And Fidelio goes through, just straight through, like, hey, got nothing draconic about me, and he's fine. And I was like, not so bad. And then... eyes a little bit creepy, and Stella Rosa comes through, and Tremolo comes through, and then Leona steps into the gate. And then vanishes.
What colour was her fur?
Copper. And on the floor of the cabin, underneath the Modron eye, which you can see or probably hear swiveling wildly as it peruses, an old bone and a little kitten. Scene.
What?
What happened to Leo?
So that's 2 character sheets down.
Dun, dun, dun.
The amount of OMGs there. Wow. Yeah, okay. So that was I see what you mean about this being like potentially season finale.
Yeah. It could have been a season finale. I mean, she's still alive, maybe.
Now, when you say kitten, are we talking human kitten or
no, like a literal cat kitten.
And a bone.
Human bone. And very, very old. Human. Well, humanoid. You'd need to get someone medical thing, but definitely like
humanish.
A humanish bone. A very, very old bone.
Jeez. Oh.
But yeah, that's the end of session 5.
Dang. So that was eventful.
Oh, actually, I don't know. I sort of need to know where you're going next to plan the next episode, don't I?
Well, I can tell you already.
Okay.
Next trip, we are going to skirt the plains
Yeah.
Try and sort of skirt the borderlands between the bronze dragons and the red dragons, who are all sort of bunkering down now that we're getting into winter. Head south and we're going to Mataro.
If you did any investigation that
Yeah.
led you to more information about what's happened to Leona, would you go there first, or are you definitely going Mataro first?
No, Leona would be first.
Okay.
Yeah. First priority would be, oh my god, we just exploded Leona. What does this even mean? Second priority is stop off at Mataro for the wedding. Third priority is, and then immediately head to, oh, actually, now that I came from Caimeopoli and went to Monte Emiliano, it's not as big a deal. But yeah, third priority is Monte Emiliano.
Okay, well, maybe we'll do just a tiny. Maybe we'll do the investigation check. I called it a check, but it's.
No, I said it for next time. That cliffhanger was too good.
Oh, but
Do you need me to roll it just to sort of...
I mean, because, yeah, that's two different directions that you could go in. You either are going to Mataro for a wedding episode, or you're going to other place for what the heck happened to Leona episode.
Yeah.
And those are two very big and different things that I can't really improvise. So, yeah, we do actually need to figure out.
Okay.
So, you've got a kitten and a bone.
Right.
Very curious, says Tremolo, and toddles over to examine.
What just happened?
Well, your friend must have been some sort of draconic construct made up of a kitten and a bone. That is my scientific summation of the problem.
Bring her back!
I don't know how. I'm very, very sorry. Perhaps if you were to find the dragon who did it, you could bring her back.
How would we how would you...
Has she ever said anything about a dragon, maybe?
No.
How where did you meet her?
She was wandering, right? We just sort of found her.
She wandered into Venora. She was an urchin, but she hung around. That's right. She hung around you guys, and then one day you saw her. In general, the Donaldos saw her miraculously reshoe a horse.
That's right.
And they were like, "What? Okay, let's bring her into the family." That's a very useful skill. But and you remember from earlier in this episode, you remember things saying like she was like an empty vessel.
Yeah. This is another. James thinks he's figured out some more, but
go on.
Sheer homunculus.
I guess.
From the Quicksilver Dragons.
No.
Oh, okay. Because that was my guess. Was like she's an alchemical construct from the alchemical dragons.
That makes a certain amount of sense.
Who do alchemy.
Let's look at the objects at hand. Tremolo says, let's look at the objects at hand.
I hold up the cat, which struggles in that sort of kitten way and meows a bit.
She has little bluish, blindish eyes. The kitten can't see very far, and little innocent face. And her fur maybe isn't as coppery as it would be in adulthood, but she's still got the little darker stripes in amongst her.
I mean, the copper suggests copper dragon.
Yeah.
It
does. And then Tremolo picks up the other object.
The bone. This is the more interesting one, I think.
Yes, faint resonance. Casting identify.
Does he have the 50 gold spear?
Of course he does. He's a gnome.
No, I think he has to have a pearl or something, which means
you have to go down to the sea.
Mass-produced pearls to burn. No, I think artificers can do it for cheap.
Okay. He's probably an artificer, realistically.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a holiness about this bone. Perhaps some sort of saint's relic.
How much does Ambrogio know about copper and saints relics? And possible
Well, history check? No.
history check +0. Not very smart. -1 for Ruslan.
Well, actually, you know who's
very smart.
Ex-spirit of knowledge. Well,
Yeah.
ancestors were.
Yeah.
Copper. Saints' relics. You know, there's a monastery on Montemiliano, and there's copper dragons on Montemiliano. That it could be a connection. I mean, there's also the connection with yourself, Mr. Ruslan. I don't know, but well, it's a suggestion.
All right.
Well, still, come for dinner and set off in the morning. Bring the kitten. I'm sure it's hungry.
And now I'm imagining he's going to rig up some sort of like little kitten backpack or something. Like, have you seen the backpacks? And they've got a little like.
Like little windows for
the yeah.
Yes, actually, so you don't lose your little kitten. Yes, you have a little kitten backpack.
Wrap up the bone as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's. Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well. And we're going to have to get to Montemiliano, realistically, we're going to have to go to the coast down here. So the most likely thing is probably that we go to Mataro.
Okay.
Cross the path.
Valentino is going to be like, what the fuck is going on? You know what? That's fine. You can get Valentino back before you get
it feels to me like that's the most logical path.
Yeah. No, you're right. That is
rather than like what? Go to Staglia.
Yeah, no, don't do that. If you had ended up in Staglia, I was going to have you end up, like, I don't know, fleeing Staglia by sea and winding up in Montemiliano.
Yeah. But no, I think, down here, across the valley, both the armies are hunkering down at the moment, so. I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we left you alone for 5 minutes, Valentino, and look what you did.
5 minutes is all it takes.
Yeah, okay.
Did you just diss yourself, Valentino?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Mataro first, and then presumably Montemiliano.
So and we'll have a flying visit back to Falsina.
Oh boy. Do you really want to have a flying visit to Falsina?
We could probably go
where you are being pursued by the church, and Gianni de Trion.
Just in terms of roads, it's probably easier to take the road through Falsina.
Sure.
And it's like you just kind of don't stop. Also, it's been ages. They're not.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
If we're not stopping.
I don't know. Just hope that Gianni de Trion doesn't see you. That's all. Because that guy won't forget your face. That guy's a dick. Okay. Well, that didn't change much. Sorry for not leaving it at the cliffhanger. But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Mataro next, and then Montemiliano.
And the intention is Mataro.
Who knows? Maybe it could be the same episode. We'll see. We'll see how much. There could be shenanigans at the wedding, but I also don't want to tie us up in a bunch of pointless fighting.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's us.
Catch us next week on our charity stream. So there will be a break. Yeah. We're not going to be doing Mataro.
I guess this was the end of the season after all. It's just a very short,
a little cliffhanger
like
for
mid-season
2 weeks.
break.
Mid-season break.
Charity stream next week. So there will be no Apprentices of Tirenia, and there will be no podcast next week. We will have the charity stream.
Maybe there will be a podcast.
Well, we'll see what happens.
It only takes like half an hour to knock together.
If we do one of our smaller ones,
and we can do it on one of the other evenings. Like we could do it on the Saturday night.
We'll see what happens.
I want to do it. I want to do it.
You can always do it without me while I am out doing magic pre-release. Okay. Anyway,
we'll see.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Night. Thank you for sticking around with us, and see you at the charity stream.
Bye.
Bye.